it's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Tuesday, Stiles and Watkins got you till 2 p.m. If you had the day off yesterday, welcome back. If you didn't have the day off yesterday, congrats. You made it through Monday, and you are now one day closer to the weekend. Stiles and Watkins got you. Chris, how's it going, my guy?
Pretty good, yeah. Jason got me a little fired up with the All-Star celebrity talk earlier. I know we're going to get into it. So, feeling good. And, definitely needed that Monday off. It actually felt like a 3-day weekend, which is very, very rare, it feels like.
Yeah, right. I mean, and I talked a little bit about it in the cross talk. Didn't really get to just kick my feet up, but hey, thanks to having the day off, we were able to power through our care being sick. So, it was I got some quality time.
Right.
All right.
We
need that. You need that. So, Mr. Mommy or Daddy Daycare, whatever you want to call it, was in full.
It's a great movie. I completely forgot about Daddy Daycare. Was fantastic. Really, really underrated. I definitely have not rewatched that since it came out. I definitely got to hop on.
Fire it up. We got Nate Littlefield behind the glass for us today as we get a chance to break down all things All-Star. Look, I put something out during the game, and me personally, it feels like we're on the same page with this. To me, it's just turned into an NBA fan pilgrimage, right?
For sure.
Let's all come to social media every season and complain about the All-Star game.
Right.
We don't actually know what we want because you don't want anybody getting hurt. You don't want, Kobe. I had somebody respond with that Kobe clip. I literally had to stop myself from being too sarcastic. Oh, thank you. I've never seen that Kobe, that Kobe clip before where he talks about players playing harder at UCLA. The way I see it is this: there are 82 games in a season. Then you have the postseason, and then you have the finals. Yeah. That's a lot of time to see high-level basketball. Yeah. Okay? Just enjoy this for the pageantry. Just enjoy this to see everybody kicking it. I don't really know why we're trying to – and the thing is, it's not just an NBA thing. NFL has the same issue, so they just said, let's just get rid of it, and we just did flag football. Baseball is a little bit different because it's kind of hard to half try in baseball. You can't half throw a baseball, you get injured. Can't half hit a baseball, you're just gonna swing.
Right.
So that one, and that's why it matters. That's why they still, whoever wins does this, and I know they've kind of went back and forth.
There's also a better system too of subbing people in and out too, right?
Exactly. So I understand why people want to complain about it, but I saw something posted from I think the 1992 All-Star game where it was, and nobody was shooting threes back then, and it was 152 to 98. So people love to complain, number one, and people love
things were always better in there.
They were always better.
Always. Yeah.
Instead of the grass is greener, it's like the past is better.
Yes.
Just doesn't matter. The past is better. And I don't need to see these guys go. Just if you don't like it, you don't have to watch.
Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at. I frankly I don't like. I really, unless the Kings are in there or if there's some storyline that I'm looking to follow, like I'm not super interested in the All-Star game. I'll have it on passively in the background, but I'm not really going to pay attention to it. And I just think I think the game itself has outlived its use. I feel like back in the day when games were tape delayed and you had to watch Magic Johnson and Larry on literal tape delay finals, like the All-Star game was your only opportunity to get to see Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, all the greats all on the same floor at once. Now with League Pass, like if I'm in Miami and I'm a huge Steph Curry fan, I can watch every single game of Steph Curry's career. I don't need anything else. I don't need an All-Star game. I can watch all of his playoff games. And so I don't know. I just feel like in terms of its usefulness, like why people even think that it used to be important in the past was because of that reason. And now it's really just the week itself leading into the game or the couple days leading into it is for guys to get their marketing stuff off and to meet, league officials meet and all that stuff. But For the most part, I mean, I don't think anybody is getting anything out of, like, even the viewers. I don't think they're getting anything out of the weekend in total.
Yeah, and Adam Silver congratulated the East on breaking the scoring record, and here's that sound. He doesn't seem too thrilled. Who he said recently, we're going to fix this. You didn't fix it. Here he is.
And to the Eastern Conference All-Stars, you scored the most points. Well, congratulations. Giannis.
That is crazy.
I can't wait for that to be in 2K. Just
right,
like you're playing in the All-Star game, and he's like, well, all right. I mean, that right there speaks volumes. I mean, if your commissioner is out here and he can't even try and fake like that was a good game or that was something to be proud of as a league, what a joke. Like, what an absolute joke. And I guess they were shooting for 200 points at halftime, but there's no world in which that's entertaining.
Yeah, and I'm thinking back to a couple years ago when Steph won it. Maybe it's just a Steph thing. Do you remember that when he made however many threes in a row and he was
vaguely.
That was something that I guess was a bit more exciting, but you could say, well, Dame kind of did the same thing. I think Steph is just kind of his own entity. So, it doesn't seem like Adam Silver was thrilled. Here's my question. Why did they get rid of whoever wins this quarter, their charity gets the money? That was 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
That was
with
the last
ending, yeah.
That was the last time that the All-Star game really was competitive. Why did they stop doing that? It was every quarter. So every quarter they went back and forth, and I think that was the one where they ended up trapping KD or Steph in the corner. Yeah. Why did they stop doing that?
I really don't know. Yeah, because it was really competitive. It was they had the Elam ending, and so like there was a target score for them to get, and then I think it was like a 3-point game with like 5 points to go, and it got super tight at the end. Like that's what you're like. If you're gonna get anything out of the All-Star game, it would be something like that, where you can get 3 to 5 minute stretch of truly the 10 best basketball players in the world at that moment on the floor, really trying to outscore each other for 5 points or 8 points. Like that's about as good as you can get. And I have no idea why they would get rid of it. I mean, to me, that's, I mean, I know Sam Amick brought up that the players are talking about getting paid for playing in the All-Star. That's insane. I'm not saying Sam's insane for throwing it out there. I think it's insane for the players to even say that. But to me, that's the way that you get these guys to play, is not by paying them, but is by dangling some sort of, carrot of competitiveness in front of them.
And their, I guess, their moral compass, if you will, because if you have kids, they had those kids in the building, and you saw the kids that lost. I know they both end up getting money, but I mean, the kids were just sitting there. Of course, they're gonna go. Yeah. They're gonna go at it.
Start saying Westbrook,
right? That's what you need. I don't know why they got rid of that. Yeah, it was something else. And you also had Kenny Smith, who really, we have his audio, and then we have him on Stephen A defending that. And I want to get your thoughts, Chris, on just that whole thing. That was probably the highlight of the weekend.
It really was.
Steph and Sabrina.
Yeah. I just think it was, I mean, it just wasn't great. Like first off, honestly, the worst part about it was the timing. It just was not the time for Kenny to have that conversation, regardless of, I'm sure there's half, or whatever. There's a certain percentage of people that think Kenny's dead on. There's a ton of people who are upset and think that it was just completely the wrong thing to say. I think regardless, I hope that we can all just admit probably just wasn't the time immediately after the competition's over to then say,
was terrible.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's fine if you're doing 30 minutes later on your set in your studio set, but in that moment, it was just such a great moment. I think, like you said, I think you're completely right. I think that was the highlight of the week. To then just completely disparage it and say, literally moving the lines and or the goalposts, if you will. Like, I just think it was poorly timed. And you mentioned him apologizing, or not even apologizing, defending himself almost on Stephen A. Smith. He just didn't get it. And I don't know how much time we want to spend on it, but I just feel like it was a really, really bad moment in something that should have been a really, really awesome moment for basketball in total. Because I think regardless of what the result was, I think everyone saw that Sabrina Ionescu is a fantastic shooter. And the message and the point was, like she said, doesn't matter male or female, shooters can shoot. And that just is the case. And I mean, it was just really, really tough moment.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of tough moments this weekend from the broadcast. Not just that. I mean, Chuck had a moment where he talked about the city of San Francisco. And again, regardless of whether you think he's right or wrong, I would just say
Maybe
not the time and place to have that conversation. It was just not great. I just didn't love how TNT handled the broadcast in total, which is also tough because there's not a lot going on. I've been at those. I was at the All-Star game last year. I think Chuck said that literally as the final buzzer went off. In 200 to 186 point game, you're going to run out of stuff to talk about. So it's kind of goes hand in hand, but I just thought the broadcast in general was pretty bad.
Coming up, continuing to break down the All-Star game, and later in the show, we have Kings Talk. We also have a conversation or a clip of a conversation that we had with the Super Bowl wide receiver, and he puts Brandon Aiyuk in his top 10. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only during the President's Week sale, get ready to rev up your savings at Elk Grove Kia and ElkGroveKia.com. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you're sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seats, because here's the best part. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1-week only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle. Just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the President's Week sale happens this week only at Elk Grove Kia and ElkGroveKia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await during the President's Week sale. Only at
Elk Grove Kia.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
There were a lot of headlines coming out of the All-Star weekend, and all of them weren't great. TNT kind of had a rough go this weekend, and very similar. And this is what happens, Chris, Stiles and Watkins. This is what happens when you always are on that line. Sometimes the line is going to get crossed. You have
right.
Draymond and Chuck. They go back and forth. That's kind of like their shtick. And sometimes lines get crossed, and lines got crossed, I think, on that night. And in a different way, Kenny Smith kind of crossed a line. We have him defending himself. We'll get to that a little bit later. But let's hear the actual broadcast and what happened as soon as the competition ended.
I think she should have shot from her. She should have shot from the women's line. That would have been a fair contest. I still root for Sabrina. We all are rooting for Sabrina. She should have shot from the three-point line at the women's shoot from. Why are you putting those boundaries on her? That's not a boundary. That's what the game is. She wanted to shoot. They have a smaller ball, don't they? She shot a WNBA ball. WNBA ball is smaller. She shot with the WNBA ball. She should have shot from the line. It's a women's team in golf and it's a men's team for a reason. No. Shooters shoot. Isn't that what you said? Yeah, but they shoot from where they shoot from. Thank you. No. Sabrina, good job, Sabrina. No, but don't let any man put boundaries on you like him. But give him a regular ball then. Don't let any man put boundaries on you. Give him a regular ball then. It's not fair. I disagree. 8 of the 9 money balls.
So that's actually my second time just listening to the pure audio because there was a lot going on and I knew it was bad. It actually is worse than I thought. because he brings up golf, which was super random. Basically, he had that in the chamber, right? Why do you think did you lose to a woman in golf last weekend or something like that? Then for him to continue to say, well, then give her the men's ball. It was a little bit more aggressive than I think I initially thought. Yeah. I think I kind of, there's a lot going on when we're watching and you're watching it live. You're
telling me you're not paying super close attention to All-Star Saturday?
Well, I was for personal reasons, but they both hit, by the way, so I was good there. But I did not realize how aggressive that got, and we know Reggie Miller and his sister Cheryl and how she's one of the great goats. So Reggie is going to ride. Yeah. Reggie is going to ride. And I thought
he's like, I don't think you understand. I used to get beat up and down the court all day.
That was actually a bad look. And like I said, we'll get to Kenny defending himself on Stephen A. a little bit later, but that was not great.
It's also like, it's not like Sabrina went out there and Kevin Hertered the joint and hit 3.
No.
Like, she hit 26, which is as many as the men. Like, that was the highest scoring round
in the men's score.
In the men's round. So, like, it's not like she did so poorly that let's try. Like, I could at least give Kenny the benefit of the doubt if Sabrina had like 15. Yes. And Steph ends up with 29, and it's not really a competition. Then you can say, at least justifiably, you can have a reason to say, well, maybe clearly she struggled from this. Maybe we should have done this. That's fine. That's constructive criticism. But for somebody to score as much as everybody else did, and then to say, like, actually, she should have actually been close, like she was at some major disadvantage. I don't know. I think it was, again, and then for it to be immediately after they finish, it's like, why do you have those thoughts after just watching that? How is that your first thought?
Because he thought that she had no chance anyway. He already had this in the chamber. We have Kenny Smith defending himself on the Stephen A. Smith show. Here he is.
What is your thoughts about everything everybody is saying?
Yeah, I think it's much ado about nothing, Stephen, honestly. Most people who know basketball understood what I was talking about. Actually, I was advocating for her more than anything else because basketball is muscle memory.
Right.
So he practices from one range, she practices from the other. There's even a study, I think, with somebody throwing darts, the guy with those darts.
Okay.
And if you move him out one step, his accuracy changes dramatically. But the funny thing about it, if you move him in one step, his accuracy changes because you take so many shots from the exact same thing. So I'm like, why is he getting the advantage to shoot at his line? That's an advantage. It's not gender. It's not genetic. It's an advantage. It's shooting is only muscle memory. And so that's what I think people who don't, actually play the sport don't understand. It's all muscle memory. But the second part, I think when Reggie was joking around about, so she should play with dolls, because there was a comment, I think, that Sabrina, when she was younger, that someone said you should play dolls and stop. My thought, I have daughters. So my thought when I first heard that, I was like, what's wrong with that? You should play with dolls and you could do sports. So I actually said it.
Right.
Like, you should play with dolls. And I screamed my daughter's names out. London, Kayla, you can play with dolls. But see, most people just don't check the tape. They want to just check the bait. You know what I mean?
And by the way,
they want to have bait. My history and track record speaks for itself.
Oh, boy. I mean, it's also, I thought about this as he was talking. Like, it's the fact that he also just had something immediately to say about, like, it was Sabrina's fault that she didn't win and not the fact that Steph was great. Again, it's not the fact that, like, why again, immediately after it's over, your first comments are, well, Sabrina should have done this to do better. How about the fact that Steph Curry, the greatest shooter in the world, barely inched her out by 2 shots, like by 2 makes? Like, I don't know. So much of it is wrong there. And, him using check my track record and real hoop heads know.
I got daughters. You know what?
And then I got daughters.
I'm not going to say it.
That was so much. What
is.
About is, like, I can't, I don't even know where to go with it.
Yeah. The whole I have daughters thing, that's kind of similar to there's another joke I'm not going to say. No, everybody knows
friends
it.
Of color. Like, come on. It's like,
I mean, I can't,
for sure.
Of course I'm advocating. And I think in some world, I feel okay. But Kenny, the argument here's my thing. The argument isn't that girls shouldn't play with dolls. It's that's what's expected.
Yeah.
So you don't have to defend your daughters playing with dolls. You have to defend the fact that it's the assumption that they should play with dolls. So he was all over the place, and it didn't make it much better when he tried to explain. He didn't try to apologize or explain himself. An apology, that word kind of can trigger people.
Sure.
My question is this: between Kenny and Chuck, has TNT I would imagine this is TNT's most successful show, right? Whenever they promote,
for sure.
and I know somebody's going to get on me. I'm not, I know there's some other shows out there. Whenever they promote other shows, right?
No,
I mean, you're there.
Thanks.
I think there was one about like the Arctic. It was like a sci-fi show. It
My
actually
favorite
looked
was
okay.
Claws used to be my favorite. I'm like,
Right?
what is going on?
Claws is gone now. My question is this: has that group gotten to a point where we talk about Kings being untouchable? Has that group gotten to a point where they're untouchable?
Yes.
I mean, does anyone get reprimanded for? No. And we're not talking fired or canceled or anything like that, but just, hey, Kenny, maybe you should have done X, Y, and Z, right? When we have a situation, our boss calls us in, hey, maybe you should have done it this way. Doesn't mean we're in trouble. Yeah. Doesn't mean anything like that. Or hey, Chuck, maybe not joke about the homeless to where the All-Star game that pays you handsomely is going next year. Maybe not do that. Do you even think they get a call? Anybody gets a call, or they're just untouchable?
I think they're untouchable. I think they're about as untouchable gets. Like it's they've earned it. Like they like you said, I think up top, like they have kind of mastered walking that line. And usually it's all great and everyone acknowledges like this is hilarious. This is the best show on television because they're allowed to have that leash. But I think this is the downside of having that kind of leash is, frankly, when they're not talking about basketball, which they already can frankly barely talk about because they don't watch the games, and they'll even acknowledge we don't watch basketball. We're just here for entertainment. If you're going to put them and sit them in a broadcast seat for 5 hours, again, I think that this is what's going to happen is they're going to get loose. They're going to think, we're just talking. This is just Chuck's just thinking I'm messing around with Draymond. He's not thinking I'm broadcasting
on national television,
whatever, millions and millions of people.
But that's why it's good too.
Exactly.
That's why it's good too.
And that's what you're paying for.
Yeah. When we get back, a Bay Area native lets Chris off the hook. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for Aiyuk. He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Aiyuk is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
The next election is March 5th. Vote centers open February 24th. Remember to vote early and avoid the lines. Learn more at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 762-8019.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
It's been estimated that we lose more than 400 million golf balls globally every year. Hitting it in the fairway is a great way to prevent lost balls, but Golf Magazine's Josh Sen says, we can do better, people. First, play the right tees. The architect designed the placement of hazards for different handicaps. Second, find a reference point. Pick a tree, a shack, or a path where the shot was headed, and keep it locked as you head off the tee. Third, maybe use a highly visible ball. You've got a better crack at tracking your ball if it's the color of a lemon or a tangerine. And anecdotal evidence suggests there's something freeing about knocking around a cartoonishly colored golf ball. 4, do not look away in disgust. A natural reaction to a slice or duck hook is to turn away. As hard as it is to find an errant shot, it's even tougher if you don't know where to look. And finally, be a good scout. Instead of fiddling with your phone, keep an eye on your partner shots. The more time you spend watching, the less time you spend looking. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin ultra soft on the party, let's just so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The cream is always stocked. It's our party vibe. It's crucial, please, so chicks feel fine. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
His name is Dame Time. Dame Lillard, who gets the All-Star MVP. And he saved Chris Watkins from having to watch Tyrese Halliburton do exactly what Tyrese Halliburton wanted to do. Who had one of, it looked like, the best weekends ever. Did you see him? Man. He hosted a party the night before.
Did he really? Oh, I didn't see that.
So he hosted a party and he's singing the Drake. He's behind the DJ booth. I don't know what he's doing, but he's singing I still got some love deep inside of me. And he's singing that song. So then I saw another clip today of Mario, throwback Mario at the party, and he's singing Let Me Love You with Mario. This guy had the best week ever. And when he made, what was that, 5 threes in a row, I had to refrain because Chris and I talk so much. Try to keep it chill on the weekends, but I had to refrain from texting Chris and saying, I'm sorry, brother. He's going to be out here cooking. Yeah. I think he's going to win this. And Dame Time saved the day for you.
Yeah, appreciate Dame always. Yeah, it could have been bad. I mean, shout out Tyrese. He did take advantage fully of the situation. I think Team Pacers ended up winning Rising Stars.
They did win that, yes.
I think he made it to the second round of the 3-point shootout, or he got eliminated in the elimination round. Point is, he made it past the first round of the 3-point shootout, and then had one hell of an all-star game for sure. I mean, I thought they were still going to give it to him. I probably still would have given it to him.
Right.
I think he hit 10 threes in that game as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we didn't get the full crowning of Tyrese's weekend, but it was still nonetheless, like, that dude was everywhere this weekend. And if it's possible, I think his star rose even a little bit more just with how much they were just throwing him out there and everything. I think he had a celebrity game appearance as well.
No. Well, I meant I was joking because I had the whole thing on all day, right? So I'm sitting there and he's got on this. It was actually a pretty chill outfit for him.
It's like a B for him, like maybe even a B plus.
So he's got on the jacket, so you can't see you can't miss it, right? So they had him on during what I think might have been the Celebrity All-Star game. So they had him on then, right? Then they had him on. This is Friday night during the Rising Stars, and I thought that it was I thought at first it was a replay, but they had him on 2 times before, and I'm thinking, I hope Chris is watching this because he's everywhere.
I was not.
He was everywhere.
He was everywhere, and shout out him. Like, it's his town. They made it very clear that this is going to be Tyrese's weekend from the start, but. Man, I'm just like, this dude, give this dude a break. I mean, for real, I almost feel bad for him. It's like, he's not the most entertaining guy. And I mean, he is pretty entertaining, but like, he's not, Shaq or anything like that. You can't just throw him in front of a camera and say, entertain us. I mean, it was a crazy weekend. And I don't know if you saw, he had another voice changing moment too.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm going to have to put that in the rundown. We'll have to play that next. He had another moment in his post-game press conference where he switched his voice up. It was truly the full Tyrese Halliburton experience this weekend.
Wow. Well, good for Tyrese and, Indiana. And people were complaining, too, about the fact that it was in Indiana and how.
A lot of complaints about that. Yeah. I don't know if I was
as well.
But yeah.
But, I mean, look, these are the same people that if you can't complain, and I hope that the only people complaining were from major markets. Because if you are complaining and you're from a smaller market, this is exactly why you don't get the free agents. You have to advocate for these smaller markets. You can't complain because of some snow or whatever it is, because you doing that and then you posting that is all part of it. Then when it's time for your team to hopefully land a trade, not that they can control it, but some of these guys can with all the player power that they have, or free agency, why would anybody want to go there? So I'm not excusing those from larger markets doing it either, but I get it, right? If you're in LA or Miami, I don't want to deal with this. But if you're from one of these smaller markets and then you go on to talk about how you don't like the location and the weather, why would anybody want to go there? It just seems like hustling backwards to me.
I completely agree with you. But on the same token, I do kind of agree with the people that are saying, like, why are we having the All-Star game in Indy when it's snowing? Last year, I was in Salt Lake City for the All-Star game. Great city, but why are we having the All-Star, especially for NBA players?
Like, you can say the same thing about the Super Bowl, though.
You for sure. I mean, for sure, but it's still the Super Bowl. Like, NBA All-Star Weekend, it has the name value, but like going to All-Star Weekend is severely dampened if, frankly, I mean, you can't go out after. I mean, I'm sure these guys are still going to party it up, but ain't no one really. I mean, I'm complaining here about the rain. Like, it was snowing in Indianapolis this weekend. It's just not like an attractive thing for people to go to. Like, and even the Super Bowl, they've started to kind of say, like, what, this year it was in Vegas, next year it's going to be in New Orleans. They just had the Miami one. I think the NBA All-Star game should probably just stay in like New York, Vegas, Miami, and probably like Atlanta, maybe Chicago too. Like, it should really stay in LA, of course.
Well, I think it's less about the I think it's less about the big city and more about what's the staple. I think when they're showing montages of it being in Indy, I'm thinking, I don't know what any of it, they don't, Indy, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
They say it's like the home place of basketball. They say it's like where
that's like
basketball
the
got
poll.
crafted.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. If we're missing out on Indy's greatness, 916-339-1140, let us know. But they're showing montages and clips, and I'm thinking, this does nothing for me. The reason I say that is because even though they don't have an NBA team here, so they probably wouldn't do it, if you Nashville, right? Nashville, right. You know, you have all the music and the food, things
Broadway.
like that. Dallas, right? So it doesn't have to be one of those bigger cities, but it has to be something with.
It's got to be stuff to do.
Something that makes you feel like at any point in time, did you feel like you had FOMO, right? Like you were missing out on being there.
No.
Like did you hope, man, if only Fox or Sabonis could have made it so I could be there right now.
No, not once.
Not really.
Have you guys ever seen Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is based in I believe, a fictional town in Indiana.
Indiana,
but they are heavy on basketball, and that they bring in Roy Hibbert a bunch. And they're like heavy on what Pistol Pete is on the show a bunch. So maybe there are some deep roots there.
No, there is.
That's
There's
what
deep
I think.
roots, but does
Hoosiers,
it translate?
literally Hoosiers is from Indiana, and they say, you know, I think there's even they quoted James Naismith as saying like, I think James Naismith is Canadian, but he's like, you know, basketball may have been invented, I think, at Kansas, but it got mastered and crafted and created really like how we know basketball today in Indiana. So there's like a very hard rooting of very old school basketball in Indiana, but I don't think anybody cares anymore.
Yeah, right. You want people saying, I can't wait, I can't miss the next one. And luckily for us, we won't have to miss it because it's in the Bay.
Yep.
But if it was, you know, somewhere else, I don't think anybody, depending on where it is. Yeah, and it's unfair to some of these cities that might not have that calling card. But yeah, it is.
Sacramento.
I mean, Sacramento.
We've been trying to get an All-Star game for years.
Sacramento is a really good example of that. But you could even, Sacramento is actually a perfect example.
It's tough. It's really tough.
At least you wouldn't have to deal with snow.
From what I understand, we did a video on it
hotels.
last year. Yeah, it's a hotel issue. Yeah. They can't house enough people here, which is
they don't have enough premium hotels. That's what it is. It has to be above, like, let's just say 3.5 star rating. There's not enough premium hotels.
How far does it have to be? I guess here's my argument. Do we think that anybody next season, and they deal with this with sales or with Dreamforce, which is a really big event based on Salesforce in the Bay, and you have people saying in San Francisco, but you also have people saying in Oakland and other cities. When they say there's not enough in Sacramento, is it? And help me out now. I'm still dealing with the Sacramento
geography. Yeah.
So what about, you know, the Rosevilles of the world or the full? Is that too far?
I don't know if they have premium hotels there.
But what's premium? There's a question.
All I'm thinking of is the Westin and the Sawyer. The Westin's on the way to Elk Grove.
Places that Drake and rappers rap about that. You've probably never stayed.
The Hyatt definitely counts as
Westin
one.
Road flows.
I would wonder if Embassy Suites counts as one. There's one right on the river, obviously.
I don't think so.
That's
not based on what you're telling me.
Yeah, like that might be for like media hotel, but not obvious. Like the players are all staying at the Sawyer, 1,000%. There's the Hyatt where the players used to stay before the Sawyer was even there.
There's no Luxor or Excalibur here.
By the way, did you see that report?
What?
I sent it to Chris. I gotta just be honest.
What?
Bedbugs reported.
Yeah, dude, the Luxor is notorious for bedbugs.
No. Yeah,
no.
But it wasn't. Was it? I don't think it was the Luxor.
It was not. Just
Excalibur was on it.
Well, I wasn't there, so I didn't.
You weren't there.
Yeah,
it was. Let's see here. It was let me get the official report here. Health inspectors in Southern Nevada Health District inspectors found bed bugs in the hotel rooms at Encore, the Venetian, Mirage, and Excalibur.
And it tripped me out because Excalibur was last.
Yeah. Those are all separate. Those are all like
some of them are nice.
I'm reading it off and I'm thinking, oh, we're goody.
Yeah.
And then it got to the end and I thought, oh,
man,
save the best for last.
There you go.
Did you guys get any itches or weird bites or anything?
No, but I definitely checked the bed before I laid down.
You can't see them with the naked eye, I thought.
No, you can't, but you can just see if
you got a vibe.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just generally dirty, there's a good chance there's
we'll be all right. We got Lysol. We'll be all right.
we're past the point
exactly.
of contamination.
We were working all day anyway. We would barely even hit the bed. So
when we get back, LeBron or LaLiar says he has a 50-50 shot on whether he'll do a retirement tour or not. I know what 50 I'm willing to bet on. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new wipers.
No problem. How about Bosch Prime Active or Envision?
Get in zone,
I know what you're thinking. Why Bosch Prime Active or Envision? They're both designed to minimize glare for clearer, safer driving.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Okay, great. Do you have any special offers on them?
Right now, you can get a $10 bonus reward when you buy a pair.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Rewards.
And paid for by America First Tax Group. Attention. If you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you. But you must call 800-257-0663 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-257-0663. That's 800-257-0663. Again, 800-257-0663. 0663.
What's up? Talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
Huge savings on our remaining 2023 Rams as we make room for the hundreds of 2024s arriving daily. This month, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. And you won't find a better selection of new Ram trucks in Northern California with over 500 Rams available.
Well, that sounds like a good deal, but why drive all the way to Hoblet, Chad?
For 4 generations, we prided ourselves on being the small town dealer with big city selection and savings. When you buy from Hoblet, you're family, which is why so many of our customers come back and buy from us time after time.
Come to Hoblet and see what it's like to be treated like family at California's #1 Ram truck dealer. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,000 total net savings after 74.88 factory rebates and 75.12 dealer discount. Rebates may include 1,000 case construction bonus cash. Must have purchased eligible with new case equipment to qualify and 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be carrying member of eligible first responder association. 5 with this net savings. Symbol VIN 700008.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
There are certain players that just ride off into the sunset. There are other players that like a bit of a show. LeBron James says that he's not sure whether he'll just ride off into the sunset or do the whole shebang. And I could tell you, I'm sure, right?
I'm positive.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, and this is going to, I guess, I don't know if age me is the right word, but in the other way, reverse age me. Michael Jordan, did he do a full-on shebang-a-bang?
Which time?
The Wizards' time, the last time.
That's a great question. I think so. I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that there was some form of understanding, especially by the end, that it was going to be his last year.
Right. Because
the first time, though, no, there was no warning or anything like that. He just left.
Well, there was 3 times.
Exactly.
So the first time was, no warning. Second time, I couldn't tell you.
We need to watch The Last Dance again.
Yeah.
What was the last time? Did everybody just watch The Last Dance during the pandemic and just put it down and never? I never watched it.
I never did either. I feel like I missed something.
You never watched?
I never watched The Last Dance.
Period?
No, dude. I was I was
anti-culture, dude.
Playing video games every day, doing nothing.
That is super fair.
That's
like, what are you supposed to do?
Like the only thing that was like monoculture at the time.
That's why
I didn't even care
so well.
I was locked. I guess I watched Tiger King.
I was gonna say
that was my
King.
parents being like, "Come on."
You know what? Actually, Nate, that tracks.
Yeah.
Nate didn't watch Last Dance, but watched Tiger King.
And I actually wanted to watch. I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. So you have Michael Jordan, who to me, this whole full on, oh, we're going to do this tour to end. I remember, Big Papi, it was ridiculous. When you're getting gifts at every, I think that's the line for me. Are you getting gifts at every arena when it's your last time playing? And I could definitely see LeBron pretending like he doesn't want it when he actually does.
Yes.
And we've discussed what that line is. Derek Jeter did it as well. But what are we talking about? LeBron's going to do it.
LeBron's 1,000% going to do it. He is not Kobe. Like, Kobe reluctantly did it. And that was, like, true to Kobe. Like, Kobe didn't want his enemies praising him. That's, like, the last thing he wanted. LeBron loves attention. Like, he loves attention probably just as much as he loves basketball. There's a 0% chance that he's not going to. I mean, he's teasing us about teasing us.
Yes.
Like, there's 0% chance that he's just going to let an entire season go by and then just say, this is actually my last season. Like, I didn't tell none of y'all that, but this is actually my last. No, like, he's going to blow it out. There's going to be ESPN specials. There's going to be every single city is going to give LeBron something. I mean, here in Sacramento, I don't know if anybody out there knew this or not, but LeBron James played his first career game here in Sacramento. I know that's shocking news to everybody, but I guarantee we'll give him like a piece of the court or something like that. There's 0% chance LeBron is just going to opt out of being praised.
Well, one thing he will not be getting praised about, and really more of the opposite, is the dunk contest and whether or not he ruined the dunk contest. And we haven't even really talked about the dunk contest. You had Jaylen Brown jumping over a Zont that was sitting down in Kai Cenat, who goes about,
don't forget about the left-handed dunk.
What's Kai, about 5'5", maybe something like that. Yeah. So you have Jaylen Brown. I thought that Jacob Toppin's dunk was the most underrated dunk of the evening, and you had Mac McClung eventually getting it done. And
gave it to him.
Yeah, they just gave it to him. And Stephen A. I look, real quick before we get to the Stephen A. sound, I think that, Chris, this is just kind of a personal thing, or whoever. I mean, you're in Sacramento. I think that De'Aaron or Sabonis, the wrong will get right next season, and one of them will be in. So if you're thinking about going to the Bay for the All-Star game, I have a feeling that everybody in Northern California that would like to go to the All-Star game, this is just an initial feeling, I think we are going to enjoy the fruits of this All-Star game's labor and how bad it was.
Yes,
I think that next season is going to be fire.
Yes.
And if you've been waiting and wanting to go to an All-Star game, I just have a feeling that next season is going to be really good.
I'm pretty sure, isn't the last time the Warriors hosted the All-Star game the Jason Richardson dunk contest?
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, that was in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be awesome to have a moment like that too. I mean, I could see it. I mean, it sucks that it has to happen in the Bay Area, not in Sac, but yeah, I could definitely see that, because there was Adam Silver, you said it, he tried to make this All-Star game work. He was super upset about how, they switched it back to East versus West and took away all the draft stuff and all that. I could see them really making an effort to try and make it work.
They're probably working on it right now.
Because if it's not going to work out next year, you run into the problem of how many years in a row is the All-Star game going to be bad before people, I tuned out. Like, before just casuals, everybody is just like, I'm just not going to watch on Sunday.
Yeah. I think that they're going to switch some things up. You go from having the Halliburton parade to what it's going to be next. It's going to be
disgusting. It's going to be a disgusting act by TNT next year. Oh my gosh!
He's going to have to
hit so hard on mute.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to do the 3-point contest.
He's going to be. He's going to do it all. He's going to do the dunk contest.
But hold on.
They're going to have Draymond doing commentating too. For sure.
Oh my goodness! Hear me out. If De'Aaron Fox keeps shooting like this,
stop it.
You get him into the 3-point contest against Steph. Both Under Armour guys. Come on. Give me something here. Let's hear from Stephen A., who is basically blaming LeBron for ruining the dunk contest.
LeBron James is directly responsible for ruining the slam.
Oh, God, are you serious?
Yes, he is.
Thank you.
He said, yes, he is.
You're
I'm not finished.
calls.
I'm not finished. I'm not finished. And I'm not laughing. I'm dead serious. All that other stuff, Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore, phenomenal, 4-time champion, all that other stuff. We will miss him when he's gone. Appreciate his greatness, the whole bit. The one thing, Shannon, the one thing, I'll even let Shannon, I'm so serious about this, I'll shut up about the GOAT debate if you hear me out. Okay?
Okay.
The slam dunk contest. I got the stat here, Shannon, because when we're talking about the slam dunk contest from 1985 to 1997, 5 of the 13 slam dunk contests were won by future Hall of Famers. Jordan twice, Dominique Wilkins twice, Kobe once. Michael Jordan participated in the contest 3 times. Dominique Wilkins 5 times.
5.
Every high jumper, every skywalker, every above the rim talent salivated for the opportunity to compete in the slam dunk contest. It stopped when LeBron James said, I'm not doing it. And from that point forward, the stars who followed didn't feel compelled to prioritize a slam dunk contest. The tradition that was set by others preceding LeBron James. We watched LeBron James, and then you know what he did, Shannon, to rub it in? He'd do it on the layup lines before games.
Where do we want to go with
Perk.
Perk.
I gotta say, Perk making the noises
all the time.
To start the video, if you have not seen this video, find it and watch Perk in the beginning. He freaks out and points at the camera like he's so excited. And then Shannon's pissed. It's very funny. It made me laugh.
That's Big Perk. He's always making some sounds that are coming through. Yeah, there's just a lot going on there. But there are people not only blaming LeBron for the dunk contest.
Yeah.
There are people blaming LeBron for just ruining the All-Star game, the whole All-Star weekend.
It's a new thanks Obama. It's like, thanks LeBron.
Thanks LeBron. You ruined this, because if you do look at it, you go back to the Kobe, when it was Kobe's NBA, guys were competing a little bit more.
Now you're starting to sound like the old heads.
I'm just
like,
saying.
Back in my day.
I'm just saying. Look at just follow the trend as it becomes the LeBron NBA. That's when the dunk contest went down, right? And that is when the All-Star game, not that, maybe less about the actual All-Star game, but it feels like LeBron, when he took over as the face of the NBA, both of those things started to go down the toilet.
Sure. I'll give him the credit, I guess, for destroying the dunk contest, because those are really tough numbers to dispute. Everything Stephen A. said, like Dominique doing 5, Jordan doing 3, even Kobe did 1 when he was young. Like, there's not really an excuse for LeBron not doing it when he was younger. Everybody wanted to see it. He just kind of didn't want to do it. And, whatever. I'm sure a part of him does regret it. Because, frankly, I think that's why guys like Zion don't do it. I think that's why Ja Morant isn't in the dunk contest. I do think that people use LeBron as the example of, oh, he didn't do it. So if it's too big for LeBron, I'm trying to be the next LeBron. So it's too big for me, Right. But in terms of the entire All-Star weekend, that's interesting. I haven't thought of it that way until you presented it to me earlier. And, I wonder how much of that is kind of like I said earlier, though, how much of that is the accessibility that's happened since 2003. You don't need to highlight yourself in the All-Star game as much, because everyone knows who everyone is nowadays. You don't have to play well in the All-Star game to kind of separate yourself. It's interesting. I think LeBron definitely plays a piece in it, but also, I think it's for the better. I think LeBron has always kind of just in general ushered in this. I'm a business. I am a businessman. I am literally a business in myself. And so part of that is you got to, like you said up top, at the very start of the show, no one's trying to get hurt in this. A lot more important is the 82 games, making the playoffs, being there in the finals.
Not the slam dunk, though.
Slam dunk, like I said, I'm willing to concede that for sure. That's definitely there's a direct line from LeBron not doing it to nobody else doing it after. You could also maybe throw Vince into that too. I think after Vince Carter did what he did year after year, people were just kind of I can't do that. Like, there's no topping it. And so it got to a point where, we had tons of shticks. You had Dwight Howard coming out the booth. You had Blake Griffin jumping over Kias and all that stuff. And I think it just kind of got lost.
Well, and then do you think another part of this also is Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon and how Aaron Gordon, okay, so somebody actually did it. He ends up getting robbed and Dwayne Wade kind of just jokes about it now.
Yeah.
So again, if maybe it was heading back to have some credibility, it then took a step back.
Sure.
Because Aaron Gordon got robbed twice. He tried. 2 times. You had a star name in there twice.
Yeah.
And you robbed them twice, right? And now people are thinking, well, they don't even know what they're doing. I mean, and let's put some of this on the judges too. Now, if you want to talk about the old heads and things like that Jacob Toppin, there were a couple dunks to where people are like, these dudes are tripping, and nobody was doing this stuff back in their day. Yeah, right. So
but they gave Jaylen Brown like a 48 for covering his eyes late.
And is it because Jaylen Brown is on the Celtics and he's a star?
He's an all-star.
Who knows? Who knows?
I
think you need to get younger. I think you could even have a peer in there, right? I think
Kai Cenat be a judge.
Right. I think you get younger. So I know you can have OGs, but you can't have all OGs.
You cannot have.
You got too many OGs. Yeah. Okay. No disrespect whatsoever. Coming up next, and we do have something from Alex on the Sack Chat. Shout out to the Sack Chat and or the Sack Mob, however you identify. Alex says, why invite Mac McClung versus Malik Monk? Yeah, Alex, we kind of chatted about this last week. I think they were down for whoever. I think a bunch of dudes said no. I don't think
it was the indie factor.
Yeah, I don't think that they decided on Mac McClung or any of these dudes over Malik Monk.
They definitely did not decide on Jacob Toppin. I can promise you that.
There's no way. Coming up next, Giannis says he doesn't watch basketball. Is that a problem? Is that why he has no bag? Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
This segment is brought to you by Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
So when Anthony Edwards was coming out in the draft, there was a lot of conversation about whether or not he liked basketball enough, right?
Right.
And Anthony Edwards was joking around. This weekend, he was shooting with his left hand. He's not really taking it that seriously. And then towards the end, he did in the skills competition. To start, he shot with his left hand, and it actually ticked off whoever it was, Reggie Miller, whoever was on the broadcast. And then he later ended up trying. So this has always been a thing, not just in basketball. Hey, does this guy like basketball enough? Does this guy like basketball enough? Giannis has come out, and Giannis, just trying to be cute, just trying to be funny.
He always is.
As usual, says he doesn't watch basketball, which I found to be a little interesting. He just says, I just in general do not watch basketball. Stats highlights how people play. I have no idea, and I love it. I love when I go to the game and have no idea who I'm playing or what they do. And we have that sound as well. How is that okay? Giannis has some of the worst quotes ever.
Yeah.
And we're just letting it slide.
That's really terrible.
We're just letting it slide. Here's the sound from Giannis.
I just, in general, do not watch basketball. So stats, highlights, how people play, I have no idea. And I love it, I love it when I go to the game. I have no idea who I'm playing and what they do.
Yeah. How is that okay?
I love it.
First he had the what was it, the success versus failure thing.
Yeah.
And now he has this. I don't even know who I'm playing. Is he turning into La Liar Part 2? Do you actually think he goes to games sometimes and doesn't know who they're playing?
That's crazy. I do. I think that there is probably a lot of games in which, especially if it's like, if Giannis is going to be matched up for a random night against like Sasha Vezenkov, he has no idea. I think that's the case. I'm assuming he's well versed on what Kevin Durant likes to do and knows Kevin Durant's game, but it's probably more so like the fringe guys or, your Cam Johnsons, maybe your Mikal Bridges is even like those guys. That's really concerning that your best player because that's also saying I don't watch film either. Like
that's
coaches
what I'm
give us
saying.
film. I'm not paying attention to none of that.
And people would say because he just gets in and just runs to the lane. What does he have to watch film on?
Right, exactly. It's like he can beat you to any spot. He can run through you. It's just crazy. For sure, it definitely speaks to how athletically gifted he is, that he can just pretty much go out there on vibes and score 40. But it also, makes you think if this dude loved the game like LeBron James loves the game, like how much better would he be? You joke all the time about him. I don't even think you're joking about him not having a bag. He really doesn't.
He doesn't. And he hasn't needed one.
Would he have more of a bag or more of counter moves, just anything besides the Giannis that we know of, just again straight line drives? It's definitely an interesting question, and as he's going to age, or if he knock on wood gets injured and loses some of that athleticism, and he's going to have to rely on some of that veteran smarts that he's picked up throughout the years, is he going to be able to do it? Because the league gets new every single year. There's younger guys and dudes who have bigger bags than ever. You got dudes like Chet Holmgren and Cooper Flagg and stuff like that, or Connor, whatever. I'll tell you this. I would not want De'Aaron Fox saying that. I would be concerned if my best player was out here saying, I don't watch basketball. I really don't care. I go into every night and it's pretty much like a box of chocolates. I have no idea who I'm guarding or what their bag is. That's insane. It's
from
insane.
your friend. And look, I give De'Aaron, or I have given De'Aaron a hard time about, we had Podium Gate and things like that, but this is your franchise guy. And are we going to look at Giannis the same way people now look at Shaq? To say, hey, if he had worked harder, if he had done certain things. Now, I think that, and I'll just be completely honest with you, I think that perception.
I got 4 championships, though, young fella.
Well, he does. But I think that perception matters and appearance matters. And if you look at Shaq, who is a bigger dude, you could say, well, he's not in shape, he's this, he's that, and it's easier for people to say the quote-unquote lazy thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Giannis, you wouldn't think that because he's shredded. They literally call him the Greek freak. But just because he looks like that, if you watch him play, maybe he is a little bit lazy, right? Maybe he's not lazy in the gym,
right?
But he's lazy
like
when it comes
Simmons,
to
right?
It's almost like Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And if Giannis, you get Dame Lillard, okay, you won one without Dame, then you get Dame, and if Giannis finishes career with one championship, you're gonna say this guy really did not live up to his potential, as crazy as that sounds. You've been doing the same thing you've been doing. You work hard. We're not saying you don't, but you were blessed with a lot of gifts that most people weren't. And you just kind of, especially not your brothers, and you've just kind of rode that the whole way. And maybe that's enough for you, but I'm not going to sit here and act like Giannis can say it because he jokes about Oreos and corn dogs, but other people can't say it. That's a bad look.
It's a really bad look. And you wonder, too, I saw Dame had, like, his dream starting five, and Giannis wasn't included. Dame's a baller.
Yeah.
Like, he is a hooper. He would actually describe himself as a hooper. I wonder how much of that Dame sees and how much, real recognize real. And, it was the big contention. I think Shaq's a perfect example because Shaq and Kobe, that's the thing that ended up breaking them up was Kobe was like, this dude does not work nearly as hard as I do. And if he just put in half the work, the sky would be the limit. And I could imagine Dame walking in and Doc Rivers maybe even walking into that situation and saying, man, I thought this dude is like a generational. I put him up there with Luka and Jokic, all those guys. But the work I see him putting in, he's in the gym. But it kind of raises the same question as Ben Simmons. Giannis has been in the league a long time now. What has he really gotten better? I mean, like, he has gotten better at what he does, but how has he expanded his game? Is he a better free throw shooter? No, he takes 35 seconds to take a single free throw. Is he a better three-point shooter? Not everyone's going to be Kawhi Leonard and go from 32% to 40%, but he's pretty much abandoned shooting threes. And so I think it's a fair question to say, is this dude doing enough to win championships, especially when, like we've been talking about for weeks now, league is better than ever.
Yeah, and it's more skilled than ever. And Giannis was joking with Dame about winning a it was just there was a lot of mic'd up material over the weekend, and he's joking about being old, right? And he's 29 years old. And I think that we're gonna look back on Giannis, and his story is outstanding.
Incredible.
Right?
Literally
do not
a
get
Disney
me wrong.
movie.
And I've had a long go. I got my ring. I'm just chilling. And he can't say that out loud. So he's doing it in different ways. And that's fine.
That's fair.
That's fine. But we're not going to look back on Giannis as, I think, I don't even know. It's crazy to say. I don't even know if we'll look back on Giannis being a top 20 player when it's all said and done.
That's super fair. Yeah. I mean, with where
50,
he was trending,
I'll go 50. Yeah. I feel safe saying top 50, but anything besides that, because when it's all said and done, meaning when we're old and grayer for me, and we're looking at these greats, you're going to say, he's exactly what his name was. He was the Greek freak. Mm-hmm. He was a freak of nature. Who did what he wanted to do. That was it.
Yeah, got a championship. And
who's his comp now? Like old, like Kareem?
People call him just this.
People
literally call him
freakish nature.
This generation Shaq, though.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the best example.
Or Elijah one, maybe.
I think Shaq is a good one, not like play style wise, but like how he gets his buckets too. It's like he's getting 80% of his points around the rim, and he's shooting 68% on those shots. That's something that literally only Shaq would do. And, it's just he goes about it in a different way. He doesn't, back people down and then hit them with the chest bump and dunk on their face. He just drives in a straight line right at you. So it's a little bit different way of doing it. But, in terms of dominance and efficiency, it's probably Shaq.
Off the top of my head, the Bucks have to shoot the most free throws in the league, right?
Absolutely.
It's
between
gotta
Giannis
be them,
and Dame,
them and the Thunder.
Like 20 free throws just between the two.
Yeah, it's got to be them and the Thunder because that's what they do. And Giannis, I know there's a game I think last month where he missed 10 free throws. You look at Doc Rivers, and we have some sound about Doc Rivers and is he overrated? JJ Redick. We have some sound of JJ
was
Redick
mad.
going in
JJ
on
was
Doc
big
Rivers.
mad this
But
week.
I'm putting the blame pie on a team where I'm not trying to be that guy, but I was one of those dudes that wasn't super high on the Bucks as far as, wow, this is for sure
winner.
going to be the team. I saw something that was pretty funny though, and Simone would have loved this segment. But basically, somebody assumed or somebody wrote out how the Bucks would fare based on their zodiac signs. And they hold on though. But then they literally nailed it, right? And it was, and I should have sent it to you, but it was based on what Dame is, based on what Giannis is, and it said this team is going to struggle based on their mindsets, but they will win games simply because they're so talented, not because they would have gelled. And it's basically what's happening.
What's Doc Rivers' sign? How's he factoring?
You got to add that in now. You got to add that in. As ridiculous as it sounds, you have a team that is losing to some really, really bad teams.
Yeah, they're sure.
And it's not great. They lost to a Jimmy Butler-less Miami by 26. They lost to the Grizzlies roster, who literally that was a G League roster.
We saw that roster, yeah.
Shout out to my guy, Jacob Gilliard. You got Gilliard doing his thing for the Kai Cenats of the world. Losing games. They're losing games by an average of almost 11 points per game. They have the same record, 3-7 in that stretch as the Pistons. And we're going to put it all on Doc. We got the sound when we get back here in a second, but I think they all have to take some responsibility in that blame pie. We got some Kings talk coming up as well around 12 o'clock. And when we get back, we also have Sacramento being the front runner to the Oakland A's, or are they? A lot of weird tweets and posts coming out of the A's collective during the weekend. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Psst, hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
What do I keep trying to tell y'all about these athlete podcasts? All right. You have Antonio Pierce now, who had a risky comment on Max Crosby's podcast, and now we'll see what happens next. The league might issue a warning. So this is Pierce. He talked openly. This is from Pro Football Talk. Pierce talked openly about playing Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes the same way the Pistons used to play Michael Jordan, with relentless physicality. Pierce also said, quote, "We got to knock off the head of the snake." 15. This is again from Pro Football Talk, NBC Sports. That's a risky comment from Pierce or from any NFL player or coach back in 2004, 5 years before Congress forced the NFL to have an epiphany about head trauma. Then Browns defensive tackle Gerard Warren said this about then Steelers rookie quarterback Ben Roethlisberger in the days preceding a Cleveland-Pittsburgh game. "One rule they used to tell me, kill the head and the body's dead." And the NFL saw those comments and issued a warning to the Browns. So I don't think anything.
Need a little bit more than a warning if you're threatening
That's worse.
decapitation.
That is worse than the Antonio Pierce one. So Antonio Pierce will probably get a warning there. And this is what happens.
Right, exactly.
These mics are everywhere and they're hot.
Yeah, I don't really hate what he said. I mean,
no, me neither.
You know, I am a fan of a team that was as Nate was as well, and Niner fans. Nate educated me on that of Bountygate, and so it does kind of start to tiptoe on the lines of that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's exactly this is where having too many mics, and I guess there's no nuance in that situation. He was just trying to say be physical. I think I don't think Antonio Pierce is literally operating
semantics here.
Yeah, exactly. He's not running some, ring of pay for injury type stuff. He's just saying, I want my teams to be hyper physical. And, it's like what we talked about when that Packers radio host said, we got to get Brock Purdy out of the game. It's not necessarily that those things aren't said. It's just how you say it is what matters. I don't have an issue with what AP said, though.
No, the Packers one was way worse. The Packers one
crazy.
Was way worse. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with AP. I think at worst, I mean, because, kill the head and the body's dead is far worse
a
than...
little too on the nose.
Yes, that's a little bit too literal. So if they just got a warning, the Browns, then I think that the Raiders at worst gets a warning. And there is a warning coming, or more than a warning, for Oakland and the A's, as the whole thing has been confusing this weekend. The A's, I think it was A's on NBC Sports, between the span of, what was it, 2 days? They went from,
I think it was a 1 day.
Sacramento is the front runner to land the Oakland A's, and then they posted 2 days later, A's focused on playing in Oakland until 2028 and the Las Vegas move. This is from Trissy Rodriguez, and she says, while some reports indicate Sacramento, Vegas, or Utah could be potential suitors, the team is focused on playing in Oakland at the Coliseum until its new stadium is ready in 4 years. Mick Akers reported Friday, citing a person with knowledge of this situation. This conflicts a previous report from The Athletic, which cited a source briefed on the A's search process that Sutter Health Park in Sacramento is the front runner to host the A's from 2025 to 2027. It's a mess. We know this whole thing is a mess. And I think that we talked, Chris, about this whole expansion team thing. Jeff Passan on MLB expansion says this is the longest MLB has gone between expansion franchises since a 60-year gap between 1901 and 1961. But 2 new teams are coming. A 2-team MLB expansion is seen as an inevitability, with Nashville and Salt Lake City seen as potential candidates. So I don't know, where does Oakland fit back in there? Because Oakland, the only reason they would do this
is to get some guarantee.
So does that kick Nashville or Salt Lake City out?
Probably. I would think so. If because they're not going to expand 4 teams, they're definitely not going to expand 3, obviously. And that's why I said last week, you gotta, even if you do get some form of guarantee from commissioner, you gotta consider the source, because there are tons of other teams that have been not promised, but I'm sure have been, given nudge, nudge, wink, wink, under the table deals or handshakes that have said, hey, if we expand, this is definitely going to be one of the places we're going to look at. And so, if Oakland gets that same sort of guarantee, I just don't think it would actually be that. I don't think it would be a guarantee. I think it would be we will heavily consider you, but every and all options are on the table is what it sounds like. But who would have seen that this thing would be a mess? I mean, if you've been following any of this is kind of very unsurprising that even these things of it seems like we're moving towards the direction, whether that be Sacramento or Oakland having those meetings, and then just literally 24 hours later, it just being completely flip-flopped on his head. And now it doesn't seem like anybody. I know we had Casey Pratt on the morning show this morning, and we didn't really get to hear all of his comments, but it just seems like everybody is still in a state of complete confusion, from guys like Casey Pratt, or us here, to Casey Pratt, to the Jeff Passons and the Rosenthals of the world. It seems like nobody has any sort of idea, or couldn't even guide you in a direction in which they feel like this thing is going right now.
Yeah. And if you look at Fisher and everything that he has gone back on and said, I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, right? It's more about how much do you trust Major League Baseball to ride for Oakland if they do you a solid.
Yeah.
We all have situations where you do a buddy a solid and you know going into it, whether it's money, whether it's whatever, all right, I'm going to do this for you, but I'm not really sure when I'm going to see this again. And you know that going in, right? If you do that and then they let you down, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Oakland finds himself in a weird spot because what do you have to lose? You might as well, okay, if they're
going, you might as well try and get something out of it.
If they end up going back on their word, at least you got, you kept the jobs in Oakland. You kept the team in Oakland for a little bit longer. From the 209, Sacramento needs to be wary of following John Fisher's circus into town. On a lighter note, don't forget Fans Fest this Saturday in Oakland. Come out and support Oakland and Oakland teams and fans from the 209. Awesome. I think that Sacramento A's fans are now a bit confused because
super confused.
I think if you are, here's my question, and I know Dave had brought it up as well. If you were in the camp of I'm not going to go if they're in Sacramento because I'm not supporting Fisher. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Do you feel any differently if they play the last games in Oakland because of a handshake deal, or I would say a written deal that they will get an expansion team? I guess so. But what if there's no promises?
Yeah, it shouldn't change.
Why would you feel any different?
I don't. I can't speak for those people, but I don't see why you would feel different because you're still either way. You're giving money to John Fisher in the circus, as the texter called it there. Like I don't really see what the difference is. I guess just for nostalgia sake, like them playing their last games in the place that they've been playing it might be worth like one or two games going to for those kind of people. But for me as a casual, like I am conflicted on whether I would go to games in Sacramento because it is like I've never been an Oakland A's fan. I've never drawn that line, and so I feel like as this being my city, and this is the city that I want to see get a baseball team regardless. I know the situation's terrible, but it would be great for the city of Sacramento to have another major league franchise there. And if I feel like I can, give even a little bit to try and make that thing stay and to build this city out, it's going to be tough for me to say no, like knowing that I'm giving money to John Fisher, who is he's a terrible owner. I mean, especially from the Oakland side, and I know what that feels like. Like I would have hated to give the Maloofs money at the time of them relocating, but I think it's going to end up being one of those things where once it's solidified, if they do play games in Sacramento, they're already here. It's one of those where I get everyone's got their morals, and I'm not going to tell anyone what side they should fall on or that they're wrong for falling on one side or the other, but they're already here. I think the damage is pretty much done in my eyes.
Everybody's going to look at it differently. I get things from everybody's got that cousin, right, or friend that says, hey, don't go to these stores because they support
this
XYZ. This political person or whatever. And you start looking down the list and you got to make a decision because brother, those stores are the closest to me. I mean, the list just keeps getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
One, what do you want me to do? Yeah. And two, those stores aren't going to go under because they didn't get my $50, right? And now I got to drive farther. And that's not me talking personally. Everybody's going to view this thing differently based on, and I don't know if morals is the right term, just what you believe in, because either way, if they're going, do you want to kind of see them off in a way, and knowing that Fisher is not losing this thing regardless of whether you buy an $8 hot dog or not. Everybody, we don't police fanning here on this show. You can do whatever you want, but I think that people are going to be torn because that's why you have Manfred saying you could be a fan of a different team. I mean, what are your choices?
Just don't watch baseball. I would honestly just
what
not
are your
give money
choices?
to Manfred.
realistically, would you just if you have three options.
Yeah.
All right. If you are an A's fan, you can continue to support the A's, which means supporting Fisher. You can switch over to the Giants, or I guess C, just pick a random, or you could, there's two more. C, pick a random team, or D, just not watch baseball anymore.
Yeah.
Be like Alan Stiles and watch college baseball. What are your options? None of those options are very good.
No. I would just say, my 2 cents and advice would be, don't let John Fisher ruin your fan experience. Like, I know it's terrible. It is really, really horrible to give him money, but if it's going to bring you joy going to a game, like if you could put all that stuff aside for 2-3 hours and just enjoy the moments while you can, that would be what I would lean towards.
Yeah, you got a young kid or whoever it is, and you have a chance to go, and Aaron Judge is in town.
Exactly.
He's going to be here either way.
Shohei, I'm sure those Dodger tickets are going to sell out like crazy.
Yeah.
But absolutely.
Maybe just buy a couple, end up flipping them somehow so you don't feel as bad. So technically you didn't pay. Yeah. There's ways to make yourself feel better.
Like, it is kind of historic. Like, it's pretty crazy to say I watched Aaron Judge at a minor league ballpark.
Right.
Like, that's kind of crazy to say too.
Yeah. When we get back, Chris Sims had something to say about a certain quarterback. Me and Chris have said similar things, but he went in. We'll tell you what he said, and we'll play that audio when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike to the left hand. The Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and 0 down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696355.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Chris, you ever thought about what life would be like if you had a twin?
Sometimes, but I feel like it would be more annoying than like it would be really fun. You could probably pull off some really good hijinks, but I feel like there would be like a constant like identity crisis of like, I am me, they are them. Why can't people figure that out? Like,
Yeah.
it's because it's so obvious to you, but, to everybody else, it's like, no, you're literally the same person.
Right. I think that everybody probably spends a bit of time wondering what it would be like if you had a twin, but I think that twins probably spend a lot of time wondering what life would be like if they didn't have a twin.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, I mean, it's just I know that they are extremely close and they can read each other's minds and all that jazz, but I was just watching that Netflix You Are What You Eat, and there were 4 or 5 sets of twins, and they're all just kind of they go through, they had to use twins for this exercise.
That makes sense, right.
So one eats this, one eats that, and you see how their bodies kind of react, and they finish each other's sentences, and it's super cool.
Yeah.
But you got to think that, man, they probably wonder, I'd like to be just me, right? Well,
you're a parent too. Like, could you imagine from the parents? Like, I'm sure you have a younger sibling.
Mm-hmm.
My parents would call me and my sister the wrong names.
Right.
I can't imagine 2 kids who literally look the exact same. And
Yeah.
if your name is Kevin and Kyle, it's guys, like, just which one I meant. Like,
right. You know who it is, and then they probably do that stuff. Maybe parents are even more. Maybe it happens less because they focus more
Yeah, that's true.
on it. Who knows? I mean, at this point, I'm with between the cats and the baby, and they all end in A. I'm like, which one is it? Whoever. And there's poop everywhere. What's going on here? So Keegan Murray basically has something that he does, which is kind of a shot at his brother a little bit.
No, it definitely is.
And maybe we got to try to hear from his brother and see what he has to say about this. But here's Keegan Murray,
savage,
when asked about what he does to avoid getting his picture taken.
What is your goal? What is the aspirations when you come and play amongst your peers who are also trying to, become one of the top players in this league?
Yeah, I mean, for everyone here, it's a good honor, especially in your first couple of years of playing. So just go out here, be competitive, win like last year. That's the goal.
That's what's up. Keegan, I have sources, right? So when I have sources, you let me know if I'm accurate or not. Some sources have told me that sometimes when you're walking certain places, somebody may ask for a picture autograph and ask if you're Keegan Murray. And I've heard you. So what? I'll let you finish it. What do you? What?
That's true or not? I'm not saying that's true or not.
What I was told that he may say he's Chris Murray, his twin brother sometimes, and they be like, oh, okay, all right, he gets to move along and go about your business. So
it's a good pass to use. I mean, it's a good pass to use. You gotta have fun with it a little bit. So.
Keegan, man, listen. I got here to Indiana. Knees were sore. My knees were sore, Keegan. Do you know why my knees were sore, Keegan?
Why are your knees sore? Explain it.
We were on the same flight, Keegan. I was about to get my emergency exit seat, and somebody said, no, Keegan Murray is on this flight as well. He has to take that seat. So how did my seat feel, Keegan?
Hey, man, I don't know. My seat felt pretty good, so I don't know about you, bro.
So he says he's Chris.
It's pretty great.
But where is this? This can't happen in Sacramento because
it could.
Because fans would say no. I mean, fans know ball out here. Right. They would say no. Your brother is in Portland, right now.
It works pretty well. I would imagine it probably works like, even here it probably works 30 or 40% of the time because people will just be like, oh, I wonder if his brother's in town or something like that. I could see it working a lot, but you're all right. That is. It's kind of a shot at Chris. It's a little bit like ain't no one want to take a picture with him. Like, nobody's checking. As a matter of fact, not only will you hear, no, I'm actually his twin brother, Chris, and not say you'll want a picture, you'll just say, oh, okay, sorry, never mind.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
Chris, you can't.
That's
Chris.
crazy.
You can't stand for that.
That's crazy.
You can't stand for that, Chris.
Yeah. Chris has got to come out and say something. He's got to send some shot his way. I don't know. He's got to have something.
From Brandon Deitzman on the Sack Chat, I have 2 sets of twin nieces and nephews. 2 sets. Wow. The girls hate it when you mix up their names.
I mean,
it's got to be understandable, though, right?
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think it ever is. Because it's just something that happens all of the time, and so you're probably constantly like, "Watch, this person's going to get us wrong. This person's going to get us wrong," and it happens every single time. And it's just again because twins will always say, "How do you not see?" Like, no, his eyebrow is like way thicker than mine or something. Like it's always something that they're like, how do you not notice this? And nobody ever does. So I do feel bad for twins. All the twins out there, they're just an anomaly to me.
Yeah, then you have triplets. Right.
Don't even get me started. Yeah, I'm just the more and more you add, I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to me how you function.
Have you ever seen triplets out in the wild?
Yeah, I used to have triplets at my school. I'm high school. Yeah, they were not identical at all. But
3 boys, 3 girls?
No, 2 girls and 1 boy. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think we had some. I don't think we had any in elementary school either. But yeah, it was. I mean, like I said, they weren't identical, so it wasn't a huge trip. But even then, it's like, I mean, that in itself is pretty cool. The fact that you can kind of have your own little squad that you can just kind of roll with at all points, and you get it at home, you get it at school. Like
you got a whole infield right there.
You can split up homework too. Like there's definitely some perks to it.
Right.
For sure.
I think just throw a third in there. But I'd rather maybe be a triplet than a twin.
Yeah.
Right? Because hey, we're all 3 of us are there together.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, we can
Misery
play
loves
games,
company, right?
We can play Go Fish. We can do a lot of different things. I don't know who's playing Go Fish, but it is a good game. It is a good game.
Okay.
Well, Chris Sims was talking about a certain QB as if he had a twin who was not as good at football or was cloned. Let's hear from Chris Sims. And we want to see, as far as the audience, if you can guess who Chris Sims is talking about.
He said, you pit him against a guy that's high up your rankings that you would take Kyler over. Is there like anybody or anybody that you would say, I got to think real hard about
that'd
this?
be one of them for sure. Yeah, I don't think you heard me talk yesterday.
Yeah.
I respect a lot about, but I think is also like the most overrated player in football. All right, that's me. I know I'm wrong. I take a lot of crap about that comment, but he plays quarterback for a team that's an all-star team.
Well, it's not Brock Purdy, obviously.
Oh, the next line would have gave it away that it's not Brock Purdy too.
Yeah,
because he says they have the best O-line in the NFL.
Right.
So that is not the case.
From the text line, they are wondering, is it CJ Stroud? No, it is not CJ Stroud. Also asking, is it Mahomes? No, it's not Mahomes.
Not Josh Allen either.
That the air yard thing that just came out about Mahomes was super interesting.
Really?
He was dead last in
Really?
air yards this past season. So we'll get into that as well.
Don't let Niners media get a hold of that.
The answer was no. They'll find a way.
Well, not Lamar, not Burrow,
not
right?
Lamar.
I mean, Burrow.
All-star team. It could be Burrow.
I mean, just receivers, right? And one star lineman.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If your answer made you feel like you wanted a cheesesteak, you were correct. That is Chris Sims talking about one Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts, look, man, like I've said, I know Nate is higher on Jalen Hurts than me. I'm not that high on Jalen Hurts. Now,
sure.
Chris Sims saying that Kyler Murray would look better than Jalen Hurts with the Eagles, I think that's incredibly interesting. I think it's a lot of perception. I think the video game thing was overblown with Kyler. I'm more worried about, and I hate to do this to a fellow Zont, but I'm more worried about Kyler running and getting injured than anything else. But I think it's interesting because Jalen, everything went right last season.
Everything, every single thing. With the exception of a couple weeks at the end of the season of him being hurt.
And he won a lot of games this season, but they fell off such a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair to say everything went right for him.
What, 2 years ago?
You said last season.
I'm talking about when they went to the Super Bowl.
Okay, 2 years. Okay,
2 years ago.
Because you said last. Okay.
Yeah,
right. I guess
last season.
Literally,
2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago. That's where we're at now.
Okay.
As of Super Bowl's over now.
Right.
And then they pushed through. It looked ugly the whole time.
Yeah.
And eventually
literally
it caught up.
Pushed through.
Yeah, literally pushed through, and eventually they hit a wall.
It's interesting. It's really interesting, just the Jalen Hurts conversation, because, I mean, he earned every ounce of praise and just about every dollar that he earned. But, you just, when you see them collapse completely like they did this year, and I think Chris Sims does have a point, not enough was really, a lot was brought up about Brock Purdy's weapons and all the targets he has, but A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and even Dallas Goedert, who was hurt, but they had 2 running backs this year as well and the best O-line in the NFL. There's a lot of things working for him, and for it to just completely collapse the way it did, there's a really good argument that if you're truly a great quarterback, you just don't allow your team to do that. You don't allow your team to go, 12-0, 13-0, and then did they lose every single, like, it felt like they lost every single game after that Niners week. And, you know,
they beat some bad teams.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Giants or whoever.
I feel like if you're truly an elite quarterback, I just don't think you allow that kind of thing to happen, especially with all the talent that he had around him. It is interesting when you bring up the Kyler thing too, because I do wonder, you know, how much of Kyler is situational. Like, I think he gets a really, really rough end of the stick there with how he's talked about as a quarterback. I think because of largely the video game thing and just kind of letting, you know, he's a smaller guy. Like, I think there's a lot there to kind of pick apart. But if you put him in that Eagles situation, how could you not say, just as an individual talent, how could you not see Kyler going crazy, looking like he was back at Oklahoma?
Yeah, and if we take it to our guy, my friend Cam Newton, and his game changer or game manager conversation, just because I think when you think game manager, you think of a specific quarterback that looks a specific way. Sure. And you look at an Alex Smith or guys like that. I think that the way Jalen Hurts does things might be different, but I think he's a game manager.
Absolutely.
I just think he's just a unique game manager where, okay, there's some design runs and there's things like that. They're literally managing the game to get to that 4th and 1, 4th and inches and do the tush push.
Yep. Yeah. And they have about 1 or 2 deep passes a game where they just kind of air it out. Right.
How many, if you look at how many times the game breaks down or a play breaks down and Jalen Hurts, wow, how did he? No, it's all by whatever is designed.
Sure.
And it works out or it doesn't, or he gets down because he doesn't want to get injured.
Yeah.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is a game changer. I don't think so.
I think I'm there too. I think
he's a unique game manager.
Yes. That's probably where I would go to, where it does feel like a lot of the time he's managing. Like, he's not, playing outside of himself. He's not, elevating his team really. He's just tossing it to his weapons. And they have great weapons. And there is a very fine line between the conversation of Jalen Hurts and I think in a way what Brock Purdy does, but I think that if you watch enough of each of their games, you see that Brock is he's spreading it out a lot more than Jalen is.
Yeah. Yeah. When we get back, continuing the conversation, and the Niners, will they have to trade Brandon Aiyuk? We talked with Super Bowl wide receiver Torrey Smith, and we will hear what he had to say. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton's President's Day savings. Unleash luxury and precision in a new Acura Integra, RDX, MDX, or TLX. Quality meets affordability with savings on our best selection. Get to AcuraofStockton.com and start your experience today. On the road in style. Visit us today or go to AcuraofStockton.com. Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my friends at Fire Wings talking about Wings Day Wednesday. That's right, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. 3-flavor lineup includes 7 classic, 7 dry rub, and 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to watch and enjoy sports with friends. 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Save time. Order online for pickup or delivery. Just go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online. Earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it.
No fees on all Kings tickets happening now. You can experience Sacramento Kings basketball live with no fees on all remaining games. Watch as the Kings take on the top teams in both conferences, including big matchups against the Bucks, Lakers, Knicks, Clippers, and more. Score big on tickets and cheer on the Beam team as they make a push for the playoffs. Don't miss out. This limited time offer is only valid until February 20th. Visit kings.com/no fees to take advantage of this deal today.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers, the No Surprise guys. We love that old song, Respect. You know, RESPECT. It's a good song and a good business philosophy. At Bell Brothers, everything we do is designed to show respect for our customers. We show up on time out of respect. Our technicians are clean-cut, friendly, and wear identification badges out of respect. We do good deeds for free for our customers and leave their homes cleaner than we found them. That's right, out of respect. So, if you want plumbing and AC service from a company that will show you some RESPECT, call Bell Brothers. We promise to respect your time, your home, and you. Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Or call if you have plumbing problems. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
We have some player beef, Chris?
Yeah, this is even better. It's retired player beef. Well, half of it is retired player beef. JJ Redick is currently in the throes of a Twitter exchange, a heated Twitter exchange at that, with Patrick Beverly. All of this kind of stems from, well, it does stem actually from JJ Redick this morning going on First Take and having some words for Doc pretty much. Stephen A. and Shannon are going back and forth on, Doc at All-Star Weekend and all that stuff. And we'll get into it. But Doc had some comments about his involvement with the James Harden to the Clippers trade. He said, I was the one, obviously, they consulted. They made calls, and I was one of the guys who said it would be a great deal for them because I thought he fit better with them than he did fit with the Sixers team. I think he's a perfect fit there. Now, if anybody heard Doc Rivers immediately after he was let go by the Sixers, or after he left the Sixers, he had some pretty interesting comments about James Harden, just essentially saying he played a certain way the first half of the season, and then after he didn't get the All-Star nod, he pretty much went back to James Harden of old. And so, yeah, it spurred, I don't know if do we have the sound? For JJ Redick, here's JJ this morning and what he had to say about Doc Rivers.
Conference. Side note real quick, no one's going to react to Doc's audio there. We've been here 7 minutes since we showed that audio. Nobody's going to react to Doc's audio.
Do you want me to get it repeated for you?
We don't have to repeat it.
I can repeat
I've seen the trend now. I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose to Memphis. Oh, it's his players. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys. And then you look at his quotes over the weekend. Now he wants to take credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers working out. He wants credit for that. There's never accountability with that guy. There's never accountability.
That was a pen thrown down, by the way.
So then after that, Pat Bev gets at JJ
Yes.
and is defending Doc, who Pat Bev is now on the Bucks.
Well, JJ never played with Doc, right, on the
No,
Sixers?
He played with
did.
him on the Clippers and on the
Oh,
the Clippers. It was on the Clippers. I don't believe it was on the Sixers.
Of course he played on the Clippers.
Yes.
Stupid, yeah.
Yeah. So you have Pat Bev, who look, these mics are gonna get you.
They get hot.
So which side do you land on? I mean, I don't even know what Pat Bev is upset about besides just riding for his guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing Pat Bev is doing is riding for his guy. It's just a weird horse to get behind because it seems like everybody, I mean, JJ, played for Doc Rivers. It seems like everybody who had any sort of Doc Rivers experience doesn't seem to speak highly of him. So I mean, I don't really know where Pat Bev is getting super upset at. Maybe it is just, hey, maybe this is politics. Maybe Pat Bev is like, if I go out, have his back, maybe I can get some 25 minutes next game or something, which I respect. Go ahead, Pat, get yours, get your money, protect your chickens. But I think JJ's right. I mean, I think that it's ridiculous that Doc, I mean, he started the entire Ben Simmons fiasco. Like, if we remember correctly, he literally said, they asked Doc Rivers immediately after that game against the Hawks. They said, Doc, it was essentially like, do you blame Ben Simmons for that moment? And he said, I don't know how to answer that right now. All right, the question was, can Ben Simmons be a point guard on a championship team?
Right.
And he said, I don't know how to answer that right now. And after that, Ben Simmons it gave everybody carte blanche to just drag Ben Simmons through the mud. I mean, there was Philadelphia news stations showing trash cans in a flood saying, here's Ben Simmons seen,
they love
traversing
making their
through.
players
I'm like,
trash
Jesus
cans.
Christ, man.
Every sport.
This is crazy. So yeah, I mean, Doc does have a tendency of throwing players under the bus, and it's never been Doc's fault for sure. That's definitely a common trend, and it's interesting to hear JJ just kind of flat out say it. I wonder how many other players feel that way or are willing to come out with it, because Doc's been handed a lot of good teams in his day, and only has one ring to show for it.
Yeah, and now he has a golden opportunity here
Yes.
to at least get to it, because he hasn't even really been to the finals very often.
No.
Right, it was 2 times with the Celtics. Is
Yeah,
that
I
it?
think that's it.
So you got to at
never reached
least,
the Clippers.
or the Eastern Conference
Yeah.
Finals. Obviously, you have to deal with the Celtics. Who do you think pound for pound has a better roster? The Celtics or the Bucks? It's the Celtics, right?
Easy, yeah.
So at least he has that out. He doesn't have the best. All you have is 2 top 20 players in the league. Maybe, I don't think Dame is still top 10.
Yeah,
but
no.
you have 1 top 5 player in the league and a top 15 player in the league.
Right.
But would you be able to skate out of that?
I don't think so. I think there's more emergency with the Bucks. Like the Celtics at least have the built-in excuse of, Tatum's 25 or whatever. Jaylen
Dame
Brown's
is 33.
26. That's the thing. Dame's 33.
Giannis is 29.
Giannis is already calling himself old,
That's
like you
right.
said. They got Brook Lopez, who's 36. Middleton's
He
35.
doesn't age though. He doesn't age.
He's
though.
a wonderless. I will not go off on the Lopez twins, but yes,
Middleton's
absolutely, they can play
32.
forever. They just got older guys
Yeah.
on their starting lineup, and they bring in Doc. I mean, if you fire Coach Budenholzer and then you bring in Adrian Griffin, and then you fire Adrian Griffin and bring in Doc halfway through the season, that means that you need to win right here, right now. There is no 3-year plan. There is no nothing. There is win a championship this year, and we'll give you a grace period of next year. But if you're not competing seriously after next year, you're gone. Like, that's what you're brought in here for. We brought in Dame. Dame is an older dude. He ain't got time to waste. You have to win right here, right now. And you put out the numbers. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They're looking about as bad as any team in the NBA right now. And that's going to fall on Doc. Like, there is going to be a very hard line of, hey, Doc's responsibility is from this point on. And really, since that point, they've been terrible. So I don't know who else Doc can blame. I'm sure he'll maybe blame Dame. Maybe he'll blame Giannis for not being dedicated enough to the game. But I'll tell you what, again, it's not going to be Doc's fault.
It rarely is. When we get back, coming up next, we will have a conversation about Brandon Aiyuk. We will hear from Torrey Smith, and also what Sauce Gardner had to say about the star wide receiver from San Francisco. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3 and
Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey Flavor. The nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777. Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas? Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Depending on who you ask, you will hear a lot of different answers, right? Whether it's about Brandon Aiyuk or Kyle Juszczyk, a lot of different guys. And Brandon Aiyuk, a couple years ago, it was Deebo, right? Oh, Niners going to move Deebo. What's the deal? This year, it is Brandon Aiyuk who is the focus when it comes to whether or not the Niners will have to move him. Like I said, depending on who you ask, some people think that Niners don't have any cap problems. They're going to be able to keep everyone. Some people think that Brandon Aiyuk will have to be moved, and whether or not they'll be okay without Brandon Aiyuk. Deebo, we've kind of discussed already that Deebo, the reason the Niners probably won't move him is because of his contract and the cap hit and what that can help. Thank you, as Nate is also wearing a Deebo shirt. Deebo is probably staying put, but Brandon Aiyuk, on the other hand, he may move. I've seen reports of Brandon Aiyuk, the price tag would be at least 1 first-round pick.
Yeah.
And, if you look at the elite wide receivers in the NFL, where does Brandon Aiyuk fall? Is he top 10? Is he a top 10 receiver right now?
I don't think so.
Well, Torrey Smith, when we talked to him last week, he believed that Deebo, that Aiyuk is.
The generic receiver probably is built more like me, like in that 6'1", 6'2" type area, flirting around 200 or, give or take around there. I mean, you think of the top guys in the game, just rambling off the top of my head, Devontae Adams, give Aiyuk his respect, right?
Yeah,
put him up there in that top 10, right? Give him his respect. Like, those guys are more so in that 6'1", 6'2" range. But I think the difference you're seeing is receivers are going to be better and better every year.
Yeah.
Right? Better than our GOATs.
Yeah.
Right? And old heads hate when I say that.
Yeah.
But it's the truth. It's because you're watching kids now that played 7-on-7. Right?
Right.
Our GOATs were better from playing outside.
Right.
They weren't everyone knows a trainer these days. Right? These kids are different. And I'm only going by because I coach in the youth space. I have my own 7-on-7 team. And I'm like,
I like what Torrey Smith said there, because he not only talked about Aiyuk, put him in that top 10 category, but he also talks about how wide receivers are continuing to get better.
Yes.
That's the conundrum for the Niners. Right? Do you pay these guys? And that's why, and we talked to a lot of wide receivers while we were out there, and the question of, do you pay these guys, or do you feel like you could find somebody similar?
Yeah.
That's ultimately going to be the question. Brandon Aiyuk, I think he's a fringe top 10 receiver, right? Do you think he is that good that he is a technician when he runs routes, but do you think he is that good that you have to pay him? Or could you find, especially in an offense that is not wide receiver heavy? Right?
Only 3 targets, right?
That's why Aiyuk is upset and wants to be, or it appears that he wants to be moved, because this offense isn't set up for a guy like him.
Yep.
It's more set up for Deebo. It's more set up for Christian McCaffrey. So with that being said, you're going to pay him and not utilize him? That seems like bad business.
Sure does.
Or if you're Kyle Shanahan, and because you're such an offensive guru, an offensive genius, is it time for your offense to slightly evolve?
Yeah.
And move. If Brock can really fling that thing, like you talking to people about it, if he can spin it like the way you say he can spin it,
Aiyuk could be the one to keep, right?
Then let him spin it. So I think that it's an incredibly interesting conversation, and I can see both sides of it. I hate to be a fence sitter, right? But I really do.
Yeah.
What Aiyuk does, is Aiyuk a top 10 receiver talent? I think you can argue yes. Is he being used like a top 10 receiver talent for this offense and on this team? No, he's not.
I just don't think he's top 10. I really don't.
Well, let's go through it.
Let's do it. I have a list
Oh,
here.
whoa.
I've got it.
I got the list on deck.
I got it. I've got it in front of me. Now, granted, this is from November, but this is NFL on Fox made this list. And
let's hear the list.
It's up to 14 people, and Aiyuk is not included in one of those 14. Should we start at top or at the bottom?
Start at the top.
Start at the top. Glad you said that, because it's my guy, Justin Jefferson, number 1 on this list. I promise I did not write this list.
Sure.
Number 2, Tyreek Hill. I think whatever, pick your poison or pick your favorite flavor of ice cream.
Yes.
I think those are the top 2 receivers. Devontae Adams, number 3. They have a tie at number 4, which we talked about this with MVP last week. How could there be a tie? Just pick one in a ranking.
Who cares?
Sorry. Jamar Chase tied with Stephon Diggs at number 4.
I see no arguments.
I'm Jamar Chase.
I'm
sure.
definitely.
Oh, you're saying? Oh, sorry. I was just saying no arguments when it comes to Aiyuk.
Yes.
Yeah, but between the two of them, are you sure you're not being marred by Stephon Diggs' personality?
I'm no. I'm not. I'm really not.
Jamar Chase had some things to say too.
I literally think Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the NFL.
Okay.
And that's no disrespect to Justin Jefferson or Tyreek. Sure is. But that's just what I think he's amazing.
Yeah. No, he is. He's incredible.
If you ever get bored, sometimes I find myself looking at hype videos from that LSU team. That was insane.
It was broken.
Insane.
That was insane. And honestly, that goes back to the conversation we had about Jalen Hurts, and I know both of you guessed Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has had ridiculous weapons at every level.
Yep.
All right. I don't know. I am very intrigued to see what happens. No, I just want to see what happens to Joe Burrow.
No one has ever called him a game
manager.
And
I love Joe Burrow. I love Joe. I love Joe Icy. Joe Shiesty. I do.
Can I get that one more time?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's cold out.
All right. Sorry to interrupt the list.
Moving on.
Number 6 is a guy we were just kind of talking about, A.J. Brown. Number 7, a guy who's kind of been forgotten these past couple of years, Cooper Kupp.
This is where it starts to get dicey.
No. Cooper Kupp is better than
Brandon
Aiyuk.
is better than Brandon Aiyuk.
Let's
CeeDee Lamb is number 8.
CeeDee's too low.
So here, Deebo's number 9.
Who are you putting CeeDee above?
I'm putting CeeDee above.
You can't just say he's too low and not.
I mean, is A.J. Brown really better than CeeDee? Is A.J. Brown? I mean,
I like A.J. Brown.
Cooper Kupp, it just depends on your cup of tea, no pun intended.
He's the best route runner in the NFL.
I would say Cooper Kupp's better than both of them.
I think people are sleeping on CeeDee.
I really like
they didn't even have a number 2 wide receiver.
That's a good point. I would say he is a number 2 receiver, but he went crazy this year. So that's also, I mean, he might even be higher up that list. He had like 5 straight weeks of 10 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown.
But he had MVP Dak thrown to him. So
keep going.
Number 9 is Deebo. Thank you.
This is where I
Here we go. But this is where it gets interesting here. Here's a new challenger has entered the ring. Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 10.
Yeah, okay, definitely.
I like Amon-Ra. Now, this is where we get to the honorable mentions. There's 4 honorable mentions. You got Terry McLaurin. I think there's a conversation there.
Sure.
But I think Terry McLaurin's better.
He needs a quarterback.
Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans' track
record
is low. Speaks for itself. Yeah. Jalen Waddle. That's maybe that's the highest number 2 receiver that we've had on this
Brandon
list.
Aiyuk is better than Jalen Waddle.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So then here's the conversation then. Is Brandon Aiyuk the best number 2 receiver in the NFL? Is that's then what you're saying?
But we don't. Is he a number 2?
Well,
Deebo.
This offense is so whack that the Niners run.
Or wide receivers.
I don't know where to put anyone. It's almost positionless basketball.
Besides Aiyuk, that's why he doesn't get the rock as much.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Number 14 is DK.
There's some good receivers in the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way.
And there's more coming in. More coming in.
Yeah.
I think
Marvin Harrison's going to be on that list next year.
Deebo at 9 is kind of.
Deebo at 9 is crazy.
High. Especially in November. He wasn't cooking or anything. It was Ayuk's season, especially for the first half.
November is November's Deebo.
Absolutely. That's when it starts.
If somebody was, and I know it's not fair because of age, but if somebody, regardless of what they're getting paid, was looking for a wide receiver right now and they could choose between Deebo and Aiyuk, who are they choosing?
Deebo, I think. No. I think you're going Deebo.
No.
I disagree, Chris. I think it's Aiyuk.
That's fine. You can go. Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I don't think most coaches would know how to use Deebo properly.
I think you use Deebo. This is why a couple years ago there was something came out about Deebo going to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Deebo is a Band-Aid. Deebo is a Band-Aid if you don't trust your QB or if you don't have a good line. That's where I think Deebo is used best.
I feel like Brandon Aiyuk is just. And I mean this in the most respectful way possible. He's just a little unspectacular for me. He's a really good receiver. But if we're talking about what sets you apart from other people, I just haven't really seen anything special out of Brandon Aiyuk. And Deebo at least brings you something that's unique and you can utilize. And I mean, I think of Percy Harvin. Was Percy Harvin the best receiver? No, but as a football player, as a weapon to have on your offense, I just think that's almost way more valuable than bringing out a really solid, good receiver.
But that's
where I'm falling.
The helmet catch off the face, Chris.
The helmet catch
off the face. That doesn't count?
But
it sure does.
But this is why Aiyuk wants to get moved.
Yeah, so he can show it.
Your take right there is exactly why he wants to get moved because he feels now again. Every wide receiver feels like they could be in this category. What was it? Mapletron? What was his name? Didn't Chase Claypool say he was a top 5 receiver a year ago? Something like that.
Gabe Davis posted some stats today. Where he's acting like he's a top 10
Gabe
receiver.
Davis.
Gabe Davis.
Have
today,
you no shame? Gabe, you were on my fantasy team, and I don't talk about that.
That's the craziest
Gabe,
part about it.
Gabe, have some integrity, brother.
I'll pull up what Gabe Davis posted on his Instagram today.
I don't even want to see
that. Fool ran the wrong route to win the game.
Shout out Gabe Dave.
And then at that point, the Bills, they were throwing to dudes I'd never heard before. If it wasn't Diggs, I'm thinking, oh, great, that's probably Gabe.
Yeah.
Wasn't Gabe.
My first thought when I saw all of these Gabe Davis numbers was, man, Juwan Jennings would be sick for the Buffalo Bills. So Gabe Davis posted this on his Instagram today. Just everything. First in the NFL, first down rate, first in the NFL in touchdown rate, first in the NFL in average depth of target, first in the NFL in per reception, explosive rates, total touchdowns. Total touchdowns. He's 10th in the NFL in the span. He's acting like he's the best receiver. So to your point, every receiver thinks that they're top 10.
So you don't even think, is there anybody on that list you were taking Aiyuk over?
I don't think so. No.
I would also like
Waddle.
I mean, like if anything, like it's a push. Like that might be like
it's
a
the
matter
offense,
of style.
man.
Waddle's. You could make the same argument for Jalen Waddle. Like, what's Waddle looking like if he doesn't have Tyreek Hill, who does a lot of the same things he does over there? Like, could Waddle be a different version of Tyreek Hill? He already kind of is.
Well, Waddle
he's
can't stay on the field.
Outfit. Yeah, for
Waddle
sure.
can't stay on the field.
For sure.
Jawan Jennings is a free agent this year too.
Yeah, he's gone.
So that's
well, according to
huge.
some Niners people, they're keeping Jawan too.
No, they're gonna. Kendrick Bourne was a hot target, and then it didn't work with the Patriots, but that's obviously a different issue. But I think Jawan is gonna be a very good wide receiver too somewhere.
Yeah, he's
like T. Higgins level, maybe. Maybe not. That's
right. He put in his time, and he's riding off to the sunset with somebody else. But yeah, the Brandon Aiyuk thing, I think that's exactly why.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see it. I mean, I understand.
Right, and maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong. But
we just got to find out, right?
We just got to find out.
You don't want to retire and then look back and have that regret.
Right, and he's just, wide receivers think they're always open, but I'm telling you what. Most of the time, Brock throws to him. He's open.
He's open. Yeah.
He's open.
And there were a couple of throws in that Super Bowl where he was open and they did not throw him the ball. So I understand.
I'm not really. I don't know what's going to happen. I know they probably don't want to move him, but something's got to give because you don't want an upset wide receiver, and it feels like Brandon Aiyuk,
especially not when everybody else is getting paid.
Exactly. It feels like Brandon Aiyuk isn't going to be silent, right? He's already spoke out about it. So even if you sign him and you keep him, things aren't going to go away if he's not getting the rock.
Right. Yeah.
So then you have to decide, what do you want to do with him?
Yep.
Right. And to your point, if he is a fringe guy, and to Torrey Smith's point, if he is, to your point, if he's a fringe guy, to Torrey Smith's point, that wide receivers continue to come in year after year after year, why deal with it?
Yeah.
I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey. And look, I think that this was the one season. I feel as if the Niners offense was more so built to have fail safes if somebody got injured.
Absolutely.
Right. So you have Aiyuk if Deebo goes down. You have both of them if McCaffrey goes down. Right. And you can put Deebo in the backfield. Everybody stayed healthy. So they're truly, I think what we learned from this season, and I know, Aiyuk could have been a Pro Bowler and he wasn't. I think what we did learn is even if the numbers look good, that it's pretty hard to keep everybody well fed.
Well, and also, I mean, to your point, you just sparked something in my head there. I think Aiyuk would have a lot easier time showing his worth or his value if he would have showed out those weeks that Deebo didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, those were the 3 worst weeks of 49er football this year, and that was a golden opportunity in a contract, or not a contract year, but I mean, he knows that he knows that it's coming up at some point here, or that a decision is going to have to be made between the two of them at some point. It was a golden opportunity for him to show his value, and he just, I mean, the Niners looked about as bad as they ever did this season. So
I got to pull the numbers on that, because I do recall Aiyuk getting a lot of targets.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he wasn't a part of it, but I think the fact that they didn't look like the same team and they weren't successful is the counter to, should we, do we have to keep him, or can we just look at cheaper, better options? Especially, again, when you're paying everybody, you got to cut corners somewhere.
Coming up next, we continue the conversation from the 916 from John and Sac. We love it when you say your name so we can shout you out. What about Keenan Allen? Yeah, I think Keenan Allen has just struggled with staying on, and shout out Cal, which just struggled with staying on the field. Yeah, but Keenan Allen, I mean,
he's healthy,
right? Keenan Allen or Brandon Aiyuk. It's another tough one. I think Brandon. You're just not very. Can we trade Brandon Aiyuk so Chris can put some respect on his name? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We've got a day to keep the rain gear handy. Showers on and off again expected through the day with a chance for an isolated thunderstorm. The storms could produce small hail, brief gusty winds, and heavy downpours. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Aiyuk is one wide receiver I see who gets open the majority of the game, but don't get thrown the ball. And he can win in contested situations. So even if he's not wide open, he should get the opportunity to make a play on the ball instead of throwing it away. LaSauce GM. That is from Sauce Gardner. Putting
on his LeBron hat, I guess.
That's right.
Le GM. Or LaSauce. I'm sorry. LaSauce GM.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I mean, for sure. I mean, like Sauce. I mean, that definitely carries some weight. One of the best corners in the NFL. Praising him for sure. I mean, it's I also wonder how much of that is the Jets could use some receivers too.
Well, they got Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
They're number 2.
Yeah. They need a quarterback first.
Right. Well, they got a quarterback. From the 916, are you talking about the plays where they, as in Brock, had less than a second to throw and BA doesn't have the personality to cause a problem? I don't know about that one, 916. Yeah, I think every not every player, but most of these wide receivers. I guess it depends on what's your definition of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it comes down to. Do I think he'll hold out or anything like that? I have no clue. Right? It doesn't seem like that, but don't play with people's money. And that's the thing, right?
He's been very vocal already.
And let's not forget, okay, when we had Brad from SF Niners on last week, he said it's just as much about the money as it is about the targets. That is my outlook on this. Money is money.
Yep.
Jed York got it. Okay. They'll take care of him. I'm saying you could pay him and he still not be happy.
Right.
There's some things that money does not solve everything. Okay. Yep. Solves a lot, but it doesn't solve everything. If Aiyuk thinks he can get the same money somewhere else and he will get those targets, right? That's the issue. So I think it's not just about the money, it's about the philosophy and it's about the offense.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Because this is why Chris, no. This is why Chris during the break is saying 1,000-yard season, and now I got to act like he's the guy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's how I think I'm not saying he's not that guy. I'm not saying he can't be that guy. I'm just saying from what I've seen, I just think that there's, again, if we're talking top level receivers or irreplaceable guys or guys that are one of ones, I just haven't seen it yet. And, he's got to be in a situation where maybe he's put in a spot to thrive. But even I'm not saying he's bad. Like I just think that he is a really good receiver, and I think he's probably a high end number 2, but a low end 1.
Here, and I love the word you use there, irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Because this is what I would say. This is why it's so confusing in San Francisco for the Niners. I do believe that Brandon Aiyuk is a better receiver than Deebo.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying there, and I agree.
But I think that Deebo is more irreplaceable than Brandon Aiyuk.
Yes.
That based on what the Niners like to do.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's why they're stuck.
Yep.
That's why they're stuck.
Yeah. Until they switch up how they operate. But I don't think they should. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think, there is an argument though to pick Aiyuk over Deebo. Let's not get that twisted either. Like I think Deebo, you laid it out immediately after the Super Bowl. Like he's not a route runner. He gets injured all of the time. He's less reliable. And, frankly, they don't really use him like how they were, I think, intending to use him when they initially paid him. Like he was supposed to be.
McCaffrey.
They got McCaffrey. Exactly. So his value almost instantly declined after they got him. So I think there's an argument to keep him. I personally just feel like like you laid out perfectly there. I think in this Niners offense, I just feel like Deebo's the much not better fit, but I think he's the guy that they would choose to always utilize. Because if they're not going to utilize him heavily, he's wasted.
Right. And he still has gravity, but if they do pay Aiyuk, I wonder the next question, if I'm in that media room, right, and maybe I will be, or we'll get our guy Emil Fergoso in there, Sactown Sports Niners Insider. The next question that somebody's going to ask after they pay Aiyuk is going to be, do you plan on getting him the ball more?
Yeah.
And I don't know what Kyle Shanahan will say, because when you do have such an electric offense anyway, you don't really need to get him the ball more, but you don't want things to happen from the 916. Vocal already, question mark. You said if he isn't getting targets, they brush him off because he's too quiet. He hasn't caused a problem at all. I never said that they brush him off. I don't know if you said that.
No, I didn't say they brush him off.
What we're talking about,
I just said he has already made he was already stirred up. I don't know if you want to call it drama, but like he created
and his camp.
This conversation is only happening because Brandon Aiyuk brought it to the forefront by posting on Instagram, and then his girlfriend posting on TikTok, and then his best friend posting on his Instagram story.
Best friend,
like, all of this noise is because of Brandon Aiyuk himself. So that's all we're saying when we say he's if you would call it a problem, but he's created all of that's going on.
This has become this wouldn't be the same type of conversation, right? If Brandon Aiyuk doesn't say, "Don't forget what you got you there," on social, and then his girlfriend, significant other, comes out and says, "This might be our last time
at Levi's,"
right? At Levi's, and then his best friend says,
BA to Vegas.
All this
1,300-yard receiver, and this is how y'all are going to treat him.
Exactly. And 916 is saying we're making stuff up. I mean, you can Google it yourself.
Yeah.
Please. You can Google it yourself, And from the 209, a couple years ago, Niners fans were complaining that Shanahan was going to injure Deebo if they use him as Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
We need Brandon Aiyuk more than Deebo. The problem is
you're then going to use Christian McCaffrey like you were using Deebo, and we've seen that's not sustainable for.
And the scary conversation is one of the reasons why, and ESPN famously called the trade a C+, right?
I believe it was C-
or C- was because of McCaffrey's injury history.
Yeah.
So you essentially need Deebo and McCaffrey so you don't overuse either of them.
Right.
And then you have
to save Kyle from himself.
Exactly. And then you have Aiyuk as the odd man out. And that's what it's been so far. And I think if you're Kyle Shanahan, it shouldn't really be that difficult because Deebo's going to be a year older, right? And McCaffrey is going to be, and it's a little bit different because McCaffrey's a running back. It should not be that hard if you are Kyle Shanahan, an offensive guru. It should not be that hard to go into next season saying, hey, we're going to make sure that BA is happy. Because you're not throwing the ball to George Kittle. Yeah. You're not throwing the ball to George Kittle. So what is it?
Couldn't you also argue that his happiness isn't based on like he had a 1,300 yard season. Like he had a great regular season. I think it's the postseason that really had him upset. It's like when push comes to shove, when your character can truly be revealed, Brandon Aiyuk understood where he stood in the totem pole, and he understood, when push comes to shove, I am not at the top of the food. Like they're not going to look my way. And I think that's the part where I don't know if you can ever reconcile that. Like I'm not saying, I just don't know if the Niners, how currently constructed, are ever going to pick Ayuk's targets over Deebo or definitely not over McCaffrey while he's healthy.
No. And you really didn't even see, besides checkdowns, I'll never forget last season when Christian McCaffrey had, 5 touchdowns or something. He went, we called it the Booby Miles game because he threw one, he caught one, he ran for one. I felt like we did not see Christian McCaffrey run as many routes as we did last season. Yeah, and I think that's something else, not that would help Brandon Aiyuk's situation, but I think that's something else that they could look into. When we get back, switching to some basketball now, we talk about the West, contenders versus pretenders. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
So Charleston McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year, and thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Welcome to a brand new year filled with limitless possibilities at Kia of Vacaville. Prepare yourself for an extraordinary driving adventure as we present our impressive 2024 vehicle lineup. Step into the future with state-of-the-art technology, groundbreaking features, and the sleek design that has become synonymous with Kia. Immerse yourself in the dynamic performance of the all-new Kia Sportage, where captivating design meets exhilarating power. Experience the fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel that extends your journey with every mile. Indulge in the sophistication of the Kia Telluride, seamlessly blending luxury and versatility. Don't overlook our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, ideal for those who prioritize efficiency without sacrificing style. If you're in search of the EV9, Kia of Vacaville has it in stock or available for delivery. Visit Kia of Vacaville today and cruise into 2024 with confidence and style. Kia of Vacaville, where innovation meets the road. Elevate your drive, elevate your year. Model availability and features may vary. Please see the dealership for details.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at at 916-339-1140.
Contenders versus pretenders. Western Conference edition. Now, we will not talk about the Kings here.
Okay.
We will talk about every other team besides the Kings in the West. So let's just go up and down and see where we match up and see where we don't. I'm going to start here, right at number 1. Timberwolves, contender or pretender?
I would say contender. I think that they are.
No, hold on. Contender means they could win the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay. We just wanted to make sure we're on the same page here.
Okay. Yes. I would say that Minnesota is a legit contender. I just think in the playoffs, especially as a matchup, it's an absolute nightmare. Like, there's not many teams that can match Naz Reid, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert for 48 minutes, and then their defense is incredible. And then Anthony Edwards takes his game to another level in the playoffs. And I love Mike Conley. So I think
he just got bagged out.
He did get bagged
2
out.
more years.
Rightfully so. I think Minnesota is completely legit. Are they truly like the number 1 seed? Like, are they the best or most threatening team in the West? Probably not. But I think that they're contenders. I would say there's like 4 probably in each conference, and I would put them in there.
Pretender.
Sounds like
for me.
you're not. Yeah.
Pretender for me. They're pretender for me. And look, I feel like, well, first of all, I was going to say I like Karl Anthony Towns more than most, but Karl Anthony Towns, I think, is actually really well liked. I think he's very confusing because it seems, I thought he was a bit of a meme and people joke him, but after seeing him in the All-Star game and how people interact with him, I think that maybe just NBA Twitter jokes about Karl Anthony Towns, but he's actually really well respected amongst other NBA players and in NBA media. So even with that being said, I just think that they haven't done it yet. I know Anthony Edwards has been balling, but I still think he has to take another step for them to truly be in contention. I'm actually going to go pretender here.
Okay. So you don't believe in Anthony Edwards?
Not yet. No.
Okay. All right. He's gone. Yeah. Okay. I really think that they're really, really built well. If they had any level of experience, I would probably have them as my favorite, but I just think at the end of the day, like, I just don't think that they're as connected as a group as some of those other teams, but I think they have the talent. That's the one thing that I'm 100% certain of. Going to number 2, OKC. They're 37-17 right now, game and a half out of first place. I've got them as pretenders. I think they are the ultimate fun regular season story, but it's just, maybe this is too much Kings bias, but it's starting to kind of drive me crazy how nobody's talking about how OKC does not have playoff experience, because that was the one thing that we kept hearing last year. There's no way the Kings can beat the Warriors. They don't have enough experience. And you know what? It ended up being true. The Kings in that game 7 completely collapsed, had no idea how to deal with that kind of situation, with that kind of pressure. And they completely folded. And OKC, Shea has been in the playoffs multiple times. Chet hasn't. Jalen Williams hasn't. Josh Giddey hasn't. I know they just traded for Gordon Hayward under the radar at the deadline, and that'll be a good addition if he's healthy. But at the end of the day, especially if you're talking about Chet being your only big man, and if you have to go against in an OKC versus Timberwolves series,
well,
you're
sure,
gonna get absolutely murdered. But that's what they got to go through.
Sure.
It's all about matchups in the playoffs.
But that matchup ain't happening.
Why not?
Well,
that's a 1 versus 2 seed.
Both of them are going to be done. Both of them are going to be done. Anthony Edwards, by the way, you're talking about Anthony Edwards. He was an all-star reserve.
Okay.
I'm
saying in the playoffs, he elevates his game.
You're treating...
Show me his playoff numbers.
You're treating Anthony Edwards the way you claimed we were treating Brandon Aiyuk.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is like a future face of the NBA.
No, yeah, I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying this season.
But I'm saying, like, if you look at I'm trying to pull up his playoff stats here. I mean, in the playoffs, he's taking much like how De'Aaron took his game to another level. And by the way, Anthony Edwards still, 22 years old? Last year in the playoffs, last year in the playoffs, in 5 games, he averaged 31 points per game on 48% from the field. He averaged 31, 5, and 5 with a 1.8 steals and 2 blocks per game. What are we talking about?
Well, look,
the dude is crazy. He did that at 21 years old.
Yeah, you still have to do. Look, it's more about, and we'll see as we get down this list. It's more about, for me, if I haven't seen you do it before, do I think this is the year that you could do it? And I think he's a year away.
Okay.
I just think he's a year away.
Okay.
And maybe he'll cook.
Sure. Yeah.
But I got him as pretenders.
Yeah.
And I got so if I got the T-Wolves as pretenders, yeah, there's no way I could have the Thunder as contenders.
Okay, cool.
I also have them as pretenders.
Cool. Okay. We can live with that for sure.
Clippers.
They're real.
I got them as
real
contenders.
Deal spiel, man. That's my number one contender right there. They are the team to beat, especially with how well they're playing right now. They've got everything working in their favor. They got a championship coach in Ty Lue. They've got a past champion in Kawhi Leonard who's playing games this year. Paul George just those two, everything that everyone says about the Celtics that has in the past made them tough to guard, having 2 elite forwards. The Clippers have that. And then they have James Harden. And then they have Russell Westbrook coming off the bench. Then they have Norm Powell, who I'm telling you was the Clippers' best player in the playoffs last year. They have everything you would ever want in a playoff contender except for a clean bill of health, typically. So if they can be healthy, they are 100% my number one contender.
They are definitely a contender to me. Yeah, I think they are the scariest because if you look at all the teams that have experience just aren't very good right now besides the Clippers. If you're looking at the Lakers or the Warriors, they're in the dumpster. So it's just the Nuggets who have experience and the Clippers in the West. And I have the Clippers as contenders, and I have the Nuggets as contenders as well, which I think there's no way you can have them as pretenders.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the role players step up for them because Christian Brown was so big and Bruce Brown was so big for them last year. And Jeff Green was really big for them last year. Like who is it? Connor Gillespie, I think, is somebody that's getting minutes for them. Christian Brown, again, is going to have to step up. It's not a guarantee for them. It's not as easy as it's going to be for them next year or last year. But when you have Jokic, I mean, that's kind of game, set, match with a lot of matchups.
Exactly. By the way, Jokic, you talk about just the memes from Jokic and Luka. People are saying it's inevitable that they'll play together at some point. How old do you think they'll be, though? Do you think they actually pull this off?
Luka's a free agent in 2026. So 2 years. That would be my guess. I mean,
Jamal Murray, whoever packaged that.
Could be in Dallas. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
Jokic said he's not leaving.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to, but I think that those two are going to make it work.
Sooner than later.
I would say sooner than later. Absolutely.
That's not
Luka's
good.
already talked about how he looks at LeBron and he's like, there's no way I'm playing until I'm 40 years old.
Right. So let's get this going now.
Pretty much. And Jokic too. I mean, he's made his feelings on basketball well known.
That's
going to
be a problem.
Good time, not a long time.
That's going to be a problem.
Probably. Yeah. And they're going to maximize as many championships as they can possibly get out of the two of them.
Next up, you have the Suns. Now, this is one where I think you ask 10 people, you might get 10 different answers.
Might get 12 different answers.
Yeah.
I got to call them a contender. Like, now, if I completely believe in them, different story, but you got Kevin Durant, you got Devin Booker, you're going to have a chance. We saw that last year in the playoffs. Those two were not even close to enough to beat Denver, but they can do some damage against, if they play in OKC. I wouldn't pick them against Minnesota, but they're the most experienced team between those two. Those two have been to championships before in Booker and KD. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, if you're telling me in 4 months or 3 months or whatever, that the Suns are the title, or at least winning the West, it wouldn't be the craziest thing. Like, I wouldn't be completely shocked. It'd be pretty surprising, but it wouldn't be the most insane thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, and they don't play any defense.
Sure don't.
The question is, can you level up enough? We know KD, and he's a little bit older now, but we know defensively he can be a menace.
Sure.
And Devin Booker, it's more about the effort thing, but he can defend too. Bradley Beal, you got to get him on the court. But there's no way you can't call him a contender.
there's no way. I mean, yeah, they're too stacked, and I would not pick them as my favorite, but they've got a shot for sure. And they probably have the best shot of anyone not in that top 4.
Yes. Number 6, the Pelicans. If they're not facing the Kings in the postseason, I don't even. Pretender doesn't even sound. Once you get to the 6, 7, 8 seed, I don't think they're pretending to be anything. They're just trying to survive.
They're just literally trying to survive in advance.
But more so after you get past the top 5, it's more about dark horses who could make some noise.
So let's do that then.
Yeah.
Who is this year's Lakers?
We will do it when we come back.
There you go.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
RC Willie has everything for your home, including furniture, mattresses, appliances, electronics, and flooring. With our vast selection, it's easy to find items that fit your style and your budget. We also offer a variety of finance options, including 0 down and 0 interest for 18 months. Whether you're looking to establish new credit or ready to make your space more cozy, we can help. With our flexible finance options, you can easily update your home one piece or one room at a time. Plus, we have a low price guarantee. Let us help you make your home your way at RC Willie.
No fees on all Kings tickets happening now. You can experience Sacramento Kings basketball live with no fees on all remaining games. Watch as the Kings take on the top teams in both conferences, including big matchups against the Bucks, Lakers, Knicks, Clippers, and more. Score big on tickets and cheer on the Beam team as they make a push for the playoffs. Don't miss out. This limited time offer is only valid until February 20th. Visit kings.com/no fees to take advantage of this deal today.
37,000, 25, 1. These are the 3 numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind, so you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need to grow, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance absolutely free at netsuite.com/company. That's netsuite.com/company to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/company.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Live and local.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Contenders and pretenders. Now we discuss the dark horses and the make some noise. Can you make some noise in
MSN.
the playoffs? And obviously, as we continue to get closer to the playoffs, more of this will be revealed. But before we kick off the final third of the season, or tip off the final third of the season, where do you think that these teams fall? As we left off on the Pelicans, who are the 6th seed, 33 and 22, and have part ownership with Vivek on the Kings, as the Kings have not been able to beat the Pelicans or even get close to the Pelicans. once this season. They kind of got close that second time.
Didn't feel like it.
in New Orleans. The Pelicans, can they make some noise? Are they a dark horse? I would say no.
Yeah, I would say no. I mean, if healthy, there's possibility that they could definitely make some noise, but it's again, I just don't love how they're really built. They still don't have a true point guard. I mean, they run CJ and Zion and BI pretty much as their point guards. So I think until they really figure that out, I just don't really see it happening for them. They're a nightmare of a matchup. I mean, they're really probably the best suited team to take out the Clippers because they have so many forwards and so much forward depth. But I can't see the Pelicans. Consistency is really the key with them. I mean, I just can't see them playing well for 4 straight series. That's just again, we have not seen Zion play for a month straight.
Unless they're playing the Kings.
Unless they're playing the Kings. Well, then it's going to be a 4-0 sweep, and they're going to have tons of rest, and who knows what happens after that. But that's their only hope, really.
I don't think the Pelicans are going to make too much noise. Yeah. You get in, if the season ended right now, they'd have the Clippers, and I think the Clippers would handle them.
It'd be tough. It would be tough, but I think the Clippers are the better team, and I just feel like New Orleans just kind of lacks, like, the guy that really scares you. Like,
right.
BI is great. Not really known as like a total killer. He's not really had many playoff moments. And then Zion, maybe that could be Zion's moment. Like it's a grand opportunity for it, especially if he's playing the Clippers in LA. That'd be a good stage for it, but I'll believe it when I see it at this point. Like I can't keep believing in that man and then having him quite literally just not show up. So.
I know that the in-season kind of not turned into a joke, but after what happened to the Lakers, people are viewing it differently. But at the time, a lot of people were saying, man, Zion, this was an opportunity. You were going up against the Lakers and LeBron. Can you get up for this? And he just didn't. And that gives you a bit of cause to pause. And I think there is a cloud hanging over the Pelicans Smoothie King Center as far as this Brandon Ingram Zion thing. Is it about to be over? Yeah. I know we keep putting this guy on every single team, and he just would be the dude that fixes things. But if you have Brandon Ingram and Zion, and if you did put a Jimmy Butler on that team, now you would be cooking because he would definitely bring things together. Unfortunately, they don't have that. They have Jose Alvarado, and that's basically it. And I think they give the Clippers a bit of a tough time, but I would say that the Pelicans probably would be an early out.
I would think so. Yeah. They just kind of lack that one more punch that they really need, but they're a good team. It's just, I don't think that they have enough to realistically beat anybody besides the Kings in the playoffs. But we'll see. And that's kind of how I feel about Dallas too, where, I mean, I shouldn't say that because they do have that one thing. I mean, Luka is that scary thing, but it feels like it's not like it's I won't say Verlad would love this, but empty calories. But I would just say it's like, Luka's great. Kyrie's great. What else? Like, what else you got? Because even the Pelicans can say Ingram's great. Zion's great. McCollum's great. They have, like, it's just you need somebody else to take you to a championship. You can't literally ride Luka and Kyrie to a championship.
You would take right now 2 versus 7 would be Thunder Mavericks. You're taking the Thunder? Because I'm taking the Mavericks.
I think I would take the Thunder. I think I would take the Thunder because of the defense and because there's just more. Like, there's more options there. They can win in different ways. I feel like Dallas, their only hope is essentially to play Kings basketball of last regular season, where it's like, hey, let's try and score 130 points and hope that you can't. And besides that, I mean, I really don't love how Dallas is built. I've also never been a J Kidd guy, so that's maybe some of my bias showing.
That's fair enough. That's fair.
I love Luka though. I am a Luka guy as
well,
far
we know
as those things go. I just mean, like, it has nothing to do with just I don't like Luka. I don't think he's going to be successful.
Manny too legit. They got sneaky Alvarado. Not a fan of that guy.
Sneaky.
Neither is Chris.
Can't stand that. I just can't. I mean, get in where you can fit in, my guy, but like it's just a little bush league, just a little bit.
I don't mind it.
It's a little bit, you know what it is? The baseball example is the guy who the trick of like, oh, I threw it back to the pitcher, but I still have the ball.
Yeah.
But it'd be like if you literally did it like 10 times a season.
Right.
And it's like, all right, like the first time it was crafty. Second time, wow, that dude didn't do his film. Third time, it's like, all right, like it's getting a little shticky here. Like, whatever. It works every time, or 9 out of 10 times it works, but it's just, is that how you want to win? That's not how I want to win.
That's technically, that is how Jose wants to win. That's really the only way he can win. Yeah. Again, so as far as the Mavericks, I would say in this specific matchup, I think that they can make some noise.
Sure.
And that's just getting
That's
to the
probably their
second round.
favored matchup.
That would be, and I think that's what happens, right? Everybody would be licking their chops to get the Thunder just because they have the least amount of experience.
I can't wait for the end of the year. That's always low-key my favorite storyline to follow at the end of the season is, all these teams are jockeying. Like, that was the story last year's. The Lakers are jockeying to put themselves in a position to play the Kings in the first round.
Yeah,
and it's like, are they really, though? Like,
Right.
are people actually intentionally losing games, or are you insinuating people are trying more because they really want to play a specific opponent? And then what happens if you get beat by that
It's
opponent? You
embarrassing.
look pretty stupid.
I don't think that's the case. Speaking of the Lakers, as we skip over the Kings, and we will have plenty of Kings talk moving forward here as we get ready for them to get back into action on Thursday. Getting to the Lakers now, I think LeBron is not checked out, but he's not going to wear himself out to, they're in the play-in right now, but
that's really the key there is LeBron. Like, how much does LeBron believe in this team? I don't know. I don't think he does very much based off of, his comments this year and the hourglass emoji and all that stuff around the trade deadline. But, I think we'll be able to tell by his effort. Like, if LeBron feels like this just isn't his year, I could see him, playing a little.
My foot hurts.
90%. Yeah. Exactly. An injury will pop up and it'll be an excuse for him to kind of, walk around a bit on the floor. And, but we've also seen that if LeBron does believe in his team, you could have a situation like last year where, man, I don't think anybody is going to sign up to say, oh yeah, we'll talk about jockeying position. We'll line ourselves up so we can get LeBron and AD in the first round. That sounds nice to us. Like, I don't think anybody's going to volunteer for that. So it's what makes them scary. And, it also, too, I don't want to admit it, but it's what makes Golden State a bit of a nightmare matchup too, is, we saw they can be defeated. They lost to the Lakers last year, but if you're trying to say we saw what Steph can do by himself, he will put up 30 every single night. And not every team is built to withstand that. So
no,
they're
and
scary.
Speaking of who comes after the Lakers, it is the Warriors, the new and improved Warriors that
allegedly
will get CP3 back. You got Kuminga, who is a completely different beast. And you have Klay Thompson in his new role. But by the way, there was an article out about your guy, Brandon Pajemski. And actually, it was pretty ridiculous. Did you read some of these clips?
I saw some of the excerpts, but I did not read them.
Did you see him challenging Draymond the first game back from Draymond's suspension? And he hangs out for it's almost becoming a meme, right? Just the things that they're saying he does. He hangs out for hours after the game.
What? Like he's just a purist. He just loves ball.
And now it's just getting out of hand quite a bit here. But yeah, you have the Warriors who, okay, as presently set up, they would have to go to LA for a one gamer. That might be the toughest.
Thrilling.
It would, but that's the toughest for the Warriors. The Splash Brothers have never shot well down in LA. I don't know if it's the lighting or whatever it is. They just don't shoot well there. Yeah. And they're one and done. So
and they have no answer for AD either.
No answer for AD. You got Vanderbilt that's going to lock up somebody. Yes. You got, again, Brandon Pajemski. I think he is a showman. And he also did say he's ready to take the torch from Steph when Steph is done.
That's insane. What a lunatic.
But sometimes you need that. I don't know that they could get past the Lakers because the Lakers are really good at, okay, we'll try today. And if you try today, that's just tough. Now, I hate to bet against Steph Curry, but they need to get up there. They need at least a game as a mulligan. You can't have a one gamer on the road. You need to at least be at Chase. They say in this 10 seed, it's not going to happen.
I just don't think it's going to happen for him. I feel like They're playing really, really good basketball now, but I just think the wheels are going to come off a bit. You already see Clay. I don't care about the bench going off the bench. It feels like the wheels are kind of starting to fall off a bit, and they're trying to grasp at straws here. And Chris Paul, I mean, we'll see. He's going to come back, but we'll see if he can stay healthy. And I do not want to rely on Brandon Pajemski in the playoffs. Regular season's fine. He's had a couple 20-point games, sure, but if you're going to say, Brandon Pajemski, we need you to play 30 minutes.
Get us a bucket.
Go ahead and live that way. That is a very, very scary way of living. And good on them if they feel like they believe in him that much. But I just feel like that's a very telltale sign that team is just not a serious team. Like, you're not a serious, I don't want to say, I'll say contender. You're not a serious contender for anything if you're realistically relying on, a late first round rookie.
That's the whole thing, right?
Be incredibly reliable.
Exactly. Coming up next, we talk Kings and the second half outlook. We're just starting this conversation as we're breaking it all down throughout the week as we get you ready for the last third of the season when the Kings get back into action. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
So sticky.
At Hannah's Organic Honey, business may be sweet, but they need an e-commerce queen bee to lead the hive.
Okay, these jars are going to Jakarta. Oh, wait a minute. Does that say Jackson?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new wipers.
No problem. How about Bosch Prime Active or Envision?
Get in zone,
I know what you're thinking. Why Bosch Prime Active or Envision? They're both designed to minimize glare for clearer, safer driving.
Get in zone,
Okay, great. Do you have any special offers on them?
Right now, you can get a $10 bonus reward when you buy a pair.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Rewards members.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and our thrilling high limit room. Plus, with Sky River rewards that add up and up, and 17 bars and restaurants to experience. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports.
Capital Casino conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
We talked about contenders and pretenders, and we did not bring up the Kings. And we're going to break down the Kings right now. 14th in offensive rating, 18th in defensive rating, 17th in net rating. And this is where things get a little dicey. We're not going to go through the whole schedule right here, but we do have some big games. I know that they have the Bucks at home at some point. I know they have the Sixers at home at some point. Kings need to go 17-11 to reach 48 wins, which is what they had last season. And they need to go, they went 16-9 last season post break, right? They won their first 5 and then 8 of 9. And with how everything is looking right now and how ridiculous the Western Conference is, the 5 through 8 seeds are separated by 1.5 games. 17-11, Chris, you should be able to get that done.
That's pretty tough.
17-11?
Yeah, I mean that's a really good record, especially considering just where
get to 48 wins.
To get to 48 wins, I think it's going to be tough. Like I don't think it's going to be easy. I'm not saying they're not going to do it. I believe they will, but it's when you look at their strength of schedule, which we talked about a lot last week. Last year felt not abnormal, but it felt like, you said they won their first 5. They won 8 of their first 9. That allowed them to get to that record. And I just, with the inconsistencies that we've seen this year, I know they had 2 good games against Denver, but if you take those out, I think they lost or they won 2 of their last 6 games. I don't know, with the inconsistency that we've seen this year, it's tough for me to see that they would just definitely be that. And that's 48 wins, which was good for the 3 seed last year, but that's not going to be good enough this year. So, it's going to be tough. I could see them doing it, but I think 48 is really the number that I feel like it would be the best that they can do.
You know how many home games they have?
I looked it up earlier today. It's like 15 or something. They have quite
17.
A bit. Yeah, they have quite a bit.
So if you win every home game, protect home court.
Right.
You bet to 48.
Every single home game, 17-0 at home. Sure. I think they're 15-9 to this point this season, which is just for a second. The fact that they are taking care of home court this year is so nice to see, because it was the weirdest thing about last season was they were like 10 games above 500 on the road last year. And then at home, I think they were only 4 or 5 games above 500. And this year, it makes sense. Golden One Center is one of the best, environments you can have in basketball. And I hope they can. I hope they can go 15-2, 14-3. Shoot, I'll take whatever. I'll take a really good home record, but and they're going to have to. They're going to have to do that if they want to stand a chance. But I don't know. It's just really tough to see these guys playing their best basketball right now. I assume they'll be more locked in this last stretch of the season than they were up to this point, but they play some tough opponents this year. And it's just really hard to go down the list and say, yep, win here, win here, win here.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of really quality teams that they have to play.
So they kick off with the Spurs. I'm just going to do all the home games. Spurs at home.
That is a have to.
Yes.
You have to win that game.
Spurs at home. The Heat at home. Bulls at home.
Another have to win.
Spurs at home again.
You've got to take advantage of the East
Rockets
ones.
at home right after that.
Yeah.
Then you get Bucks at home. Lakers at home.
I believe that Heat game too is on the second night of a back-to-back where you're coming from LA against
That's
the
right.
Clippers to the Heat.
That is true.
So that game is no cakewalk.
Yep.
No.
Doesn't matter the record.
Then
Not
they
at
play
all.
again on Wednesday in Denver.
Yep.
So-
And then you got the Bucks at home, Lakers at home, Knicks at home. You get the Grizzlies, must win. Sixers, no Embiid. You got to get that one. And then you have Mavericks, the weird, not a back-to-back, but the same team. So Mavericks will be hanging out in Sacramento. Maybe Chris will be able to run into Luka.
Hopefully.
Jazz at home, Clippers at home. It's not a Pelicans
the home
at
schedule,
home.
yeah.
Pelicans.
I've not looked at this home schedule just from the home games. I haven't looked at the schedule just from the home game side of things. You listen to those are a lot of winnable home games.
They are. And some of the away now, so you got to go back east one more time towards the end of the season. You're at Knicks, you're at Celtics, at Nets, at Thunder, and then this is actually hilarious to end the season. You have a back-to-back between the Pelicans and the Suns at home, though.
Brutal.
But the Pelicans and then the Suns, who've been going back and forth. And then, last but not least, to end the season, you have the Blazers at home.
At least they have that. At least they have that. But yeah, I mean, to their end of the season stretch there, where really, I mean, those games are infinitely more important than any other games you play. Like game 75 on, pretty much for the Kings is you have to be playing your best basketball. You have a stretch of this is how they end the season is crazy. Home against the Clippers, and then that road trip that you just listed out at Knicks, at Celtics, at Nets, at Thunder, and then to come home and play Pelicans and then Phoenix. The Kings better hope that they are not jockeying for position at that point in the season, because especially if they played 500 ball or whatever, if they're just teetering on play-in tournament at that point, there is a chance that things go really bad to end the season, and that is not the note that you want to end on. Regardless, even if they do make the playoffs, if they end the season losing, 4 of their last 7 or something, or 5 of their last 7, those are not the vibes you want entering the playoffs.
Yeah, you cannot go limping.
Schedule,
yeah, you cannot go limping into the playoffs, and you got to protect home court. Let's go through now the away games that they will have to handle. After that Spurs game, you are at Clippers Sunday the 25th, February 25th. That's going to be a tough one. You got the Nuggets again. You're at Denver, at Minnesota, at Lakers. Got that homestand, a pretty long homestand there, and towards the end of March. At Raptors, at Wizards, at Magic. Okay, at Knicks, at Celtics, at Nets, at Thunder, and then you're home again. Chris, there is easily 17 wins between these two.
So that's what I was going to say. Let's do the most pointless exercise in sports, and let's go down the list and let's say what are in your opinion, what are the absolute no excuses, gotta have it. And
okay, the no excuses.
Let's count those up. I mean, first game Spurs for sure,
no
right?
Excuse.
No excuse there. And then the next one probably doesn't come until that Bulls game. Yeah, you would say
Bulls,
there. So there's 2. Spurs again, gotta have it. Houston, you can't lose 3 times to Houston this season. So what is that? 4 games. Grizzlies gotta have it. There's 5. Toronto, I would say, gotta have it. Washington gotta have it. One of those Dallas games gotta have it.
Jazz got to have it.
Jazz, that's about as easy as it's going to get in the West.
And that's a game you have to have because of the games that you tricked off earlier in the season.
Right, exactly. And that's also the last game before that stretch I just outlined of Clippers, Knicks, Celtics, Nets, Thunder, Pelicans, Suns. You got to get that Jazz win to lock in some form of victory.
You got to get the Nets. And I don't think it's going to be an easy game.
And I think you got to get the Blazers. So that puts us at like 11 wins, which is, if we're, and, you do got to kind of factor in, they're probably going to go, of those 11, probably 9-2, right? So where are your 8 other wins coming from? They have to come from quality opponents. And, there's a lot of them. I mean, you do have some lesser end teams. You have the Lakers, you have the Magic. You've got the back-to-back with Dallas. You can definitely win both of those. That's not out of the question. OKC's team that you've handled for the most part this year, besides the last matchup. And then, man, New Orleans. Let's put New Orleans on the gotta have it, because you cannot go
for a different reason.
Would that be 0-5 this year?
Yeah.
Against the Pelicans, you can't have that. So again, it's I guess it's going to be tough. I just think, and we're just talking to get you at 48 wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's just to get you at 48. If we're talking 50, we're talking. Monty McNair was on with Dave last week. He said the goal for this team is to try and get home court advantage. So trying to get at least into a top 4 seed. I think they're 4 games back of Denver right now for that 4 seed. You're going to have to play incredible. Like you're going to have to win 20 games. And I mean, you're going to have to beat a ton of opponents that you probably, I don't want to say you're not supposed to beat, but you're probably going to have to beat Denver for a 3rd time this month. You're probably going to have to take down the Timberwolves at some point. You're going to have to break a streak of the Sixers and Bucks. You have to beat them. It's been like, I don't even know. I think the Bucks was the last 15 times the Kings have played them, they've lost. Sixers has been like 8 or 9. You've got to break one of those two. Like you're just gonna. I mean, newsflash. If you want to make the playoffs, you're gonna have to beat or win some tough games, and you're gonna have to beat some quality opponents. And I don't know. It's tough for me to blindly give this Kings team faith just off of, again, the inconsistency that we've seen all year long. It's the only thing that's been consistent about this team is the inconsistency.
All guessing callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. Do you think the Kings are contenders or pretenders? Would you call the Kings contenders or pretenders? Unfortunately, I think they live somewhere in the middle, which I think means that they are pretenders, right? If you're closer if you're in the middle, you're not really a contender.
Right. Yeah. I would say that's probably the best way of putting it, because like they're close, I guess. But at the same time, like if you're going to put them in the same tier as Denver and the Clippers and, Minnesota, if you will, and Phoenix, like they're at the bottom of that tier, even if they are in that tier. And so I would definitely say, especially again, when you factor in how they've played this year, they have not earned the right to say, oh no, this Kings team is entitled to a certain expectation in the play. Like I think that realistically, I mean, at this point, the hope is that they can get into the playoffs. And then once they make it there, I think we'll just have to reevaluate from there. But right now, I mean, anything more than saying, the Kings are a play-in team that, if they get hot, maybe they can be like our favorite phrase here, make some noise.
Make some noise.
But besides that, I don't know if they're destined for anything greater.
When we get back, we will discuss and tie a bow on the All-Star game and Chris's gripes about the game.
We fix the celebrity game.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nuggets, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Febreze.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
All right, this is it, Chris Watkins. After this, it's over.
Yeah.
Let's just tie a bow on it.
Okay.
The All-Star game gripes, whatever you got, just get them out and we move forward.
Let's start with Friday, the celebrity game. Again, can we just keep it simple? We don't need Ruffles crunch time. I don't need a 4-point spot. Also, I completely agree with you. I had the thought during the game, but you brought it up during crosstalk. These football players are ruining the game. Yeah. They are like, you cannot have Kai Cenat and Micah Parsons on the same floor.
Right.
Like, unless there's some understanding that, hey, football players, like, take it easy. Like,
right.
We know you guys are the world-class athletes, but you're going against actors and streamers. Like, let's maybe tone down the athleticism a bit.
Can I ask you guys how the LED floor was? I only saw a couple of clips of it, and it looked kind of cool.
It was cool. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
It's just, again, like, I don't think it really enhanced the product at all. Like, it was
probably just for advertisements, even though they do screen on stuff per quarter.
Yeah.
But okay.
I mean, I think it's more about what it can be in the future and what it means for, what they can do essentially, for marketing and things like that. But I don't think it was as spectacular as what the NBA was hoping for. But that's just me. I did see a couple people really praising the court. I mean, it's cool. It's really cool technology, and it's cool that they can make it like a usable floor. But I don't really know what the practical use for it is.
Yeah, and you have the ruffle, the celebrity game, the ruffle thing where you pressed a button and all the points were worth 4 or whatever it was. I think I think they need to remove the athletes and just have an athlete game.
Yes.
Anybody that's willing. It's almost as if this is a way for athletes to be able to play because it's not a bunch of athletes. I think that you'd probably get some players unable to play because could be in their contract.
Sure.
Hey,
yeah.
Now I don't know what the rule is. Every summer we see these dudes, Myles Garrett and whoever, playing pickup.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it is different to be playing pickup versus, hey, you're on national TV. Right. But I think and people are going to say, hey, don't put baseball in that category. But Mookie Betts, he can dunk, he can get down now. So I think if you just it could be mostly NFL players. That's fine. But just a pro athlete game.
Yeah.
And just make that. I think you can keep the Celebrity All-Star game. You can probably put that before and make it shorter.
Yes.
Make it 2 short halves of the Celebrity All-Star game. And then you do
the halftime of the athlete game.
It could be. And then you do an athlete game because, it just turns into let's just watch the 3 best athletes that are the youngest and most athletic. Let's just watch them prove that they can ball, which I feel like it didn't used to be like that.
No, it definitely did not. It used to be just about maybe it's, I don't know. I really don't. Maybe it's because there's streamers instead of like real actors out there. And like the football players are just like, we're the most famous people on this floor. Everybody's here to see us. Let's just cook.
Right.
I don't know. I think that there is value in the celebrity game. They just need to, I think they just need to simplify it. And again, I think that's the theme of the entire weekend is just simplify it. I don't know if you watched the skills contest.
Of course I did.
Like, what are they're throwing balls. Like, that's honestly the best use of the LED floor was that they were able to count up the individual spots in which they threw it. Because when we watched it last year in Salt Lake in person, there's no counter. There's no and even the counter isn't 100% accurate. It's not in real time because there's so many balls going into the nets. And then, you got to figure out, was that an 8-pointer, a 10-pointer, a 6-pointer? It's too much. Like, it's just, can we just I think Tyrese even asked for it. The only thing I'm going to agree with Tyrese Halliburton about all weekend, can we just run through some cones and pass into some tires and call it a day? Like, why is it got to be all this 3 rounds, 3 teams?
Oh, this team won this round. Then there was sudden death, and
it's like, what?
And now first team to make a half, and then you got Scotty Barnes throwing it backwards.
I'm here for half court shots. That's cool, but let's keep it light.
It was a lot from the 916 on the Folsom Lake Honda text line. I thought LED floor was terribly distracting.
Yes,
and cheesy.
Yeah, I was wondering how it would affect the shooters, like because people were memeing. There's that Seinfeld meme of the dude opening the door and it's like all red. People used it for the beam and to say it's the purple, it's the beam, Jerry. Somebody did it with like green and was like it's the LED floor and it's just like green popping all over their face, and it's like I feel like it's distracting for the players too. Like, I mean, not that anybody really cares in an all-star game, but I would be upset by it.
Yeah, it was a lot all weekend, and I still can't get over that Adam Silver sound at the end. He was just so upset.
Well,
yeah,
you did it.
Yeah,
good job.
That was the
you
most
officially broke it. I hope you're happy.
Right. It was just disappointing.
Yeah.
And Adam, that's literally why you get paid the big bucks to fix this. So
figure it out.
Find a way, and I think he will, and I think he's going to fix it just in time for people in Northern California to be able to go without having to get on a plane. Yeah, my gripes from
even like the 3-point shootout too. Sorry, but like that starry 4-point shot. Like I
What's
get
the
that people
problem
are
with
shooting
that?
more. What was wrong with just the racks? Like I mean, nobody, and also like 2 people made them.
No, I know Cap made them. Cap made a couple actually.
Yeah.
I think I like the starry.
But it's whatever. I mean, that's about as experimental as I'm willing to get. Like you can add that 4-point shot, but even then, I'm like, is that really necessary?
I like the starry.
Kind of changing the math a bit on the 3-point shootout.
Well, yeah. Well, you are. So then the records, right?
Well, all that stuff. Yeah. I don't know if anybody cares about all-star 3-point shooting records, but no, I mean, there is that argument.
Just
too.
throw a half-court shot into
seriously. I mean, yeah, if we want to be like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not just throw a half-court shot in there and have it worth 10?
Yeah, and then lastly, the slam dunk.
You win the contest if you hit that.
The slam dunk contest. Is there any save in this thing? They were having a conversation. They were going back and forth about what's the premier event.
Yeah.
3-pointer or slam dunk.
Yeah.
It is 3-pointer right now, but they're not going to change it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be that bad, it's the 3-point shootout. But I do like, after Kenny spewed all of his ridiculousness, they did end up having a pretty decent conversation of this should be the future of the 3-point shootout. Just do like Steph, Dame, and whoever, Trae Young against next year. Do Caitlin Clark, Sabrina, and Jewel Lloyd, or Arika Kumawale or something. Like, have it be NBA versus WNBA. I think that would be, like you said, I think Steph and Sabrina was definitely the highlight of the weekend or of that Saturday. Why not blow that out? And I think that's got some real staying power, and it does a lot of benefit for the WNBA, which is tied into the NBA. Like, you're doing a really great job of putting people at a front and center stage and showcasing their talent. So I think that's the thing to really focus on if I'm the NBA.
But that's the 3-point contest didn't really need any fixing. You're enhancing it, but I don't think it needed fixing. How do you fix slam dunk? Is there a world where there's no world where it goes away, but there has to be a B. There has to be a B for something similar to what the Kings have. Oh, who's going to have the best dunk? Right. There just has to be some pride that comes back to it. And I think that somebody will at some point. Maybe it's Ja.
Yeah.
Maybe it's somebody like Ja, somebody that is going to say, you know what? My legacy is going to be bringing back the slam dunk contest. And sorry, Mac McClung, it does matter who it is. It cannot be you.
Yeah.
It just can't be you. It's got to be somebody that people look up to, right? It's got to be a Ja. Why Giannis? Giannis doesn't even have a dunk bag. So no one's even asked for Giannis to be in it. You know who was cooking?
Ant would be ridiculous.
But you know who was cooking with the dunks, and they said something during the All-Star game? Cat.
Really?
Cat had some nasty dunks, and they said, you know what?
Change the game.
You got it. Well, he is changing it. And his threes, remember did you see his foot all up on the line?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's why he kept on ending, and then his scores were less than, didn't he have 24?
Yeah.
It went down to 22 because he kept on stepping on the line, and people were just roasting him about that. But yeah, I think at the very least, if it is going to be a layup, one thing I will say about the whole layup line thing and the high scoring and no defense is, if you're not going to do the slam dunk contest, I'm going to give kudos to Kat for at least doing some different dunks, right?
How'd you feel about the Luka half-court shot or full-court shot?
I saw
That's
one from Giannis that almost made me want to vomit, where you didn't do the slam dunk contest. He got on a fast break, and Chrissy laid it up. That, to me, I don't care about no defense, but that's disrespectful.
Yes.
You can't expect, because I think that's the TV. I say, if you don't like it, don't watch. If you paid your tickets to go there,
100%.
That's when
you're literally trapped.
Yes, no defense, fine, but at least give a pseudo dunk contest.
Yes.
And as much as I think people like 3-point competitions in a certain situation, but just chucking up threes during the game, it's not going to hit the same as a 3-point contest unless you have the right people and it's a bit of a battle and you're going back and forth. But random people doing it, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work.
Agreed.
When we get back to Kings talk as we get ready for the second half, and we will read some of your texts that are highlighting how you can make the All-Star game and weekend better. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Sacramento County Voter Registration and Elections.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We've got a day to keep the rain gear handy. Showers on and off again expected through the day with a chance for an isolated thunderstorm. The storms could produce small hail, brief gusty winds, and heavy downpours. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The next election is March 5th. Vote centers open February 24th. Remember to vote early and avoid the lines. Learn more at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 762-8019. Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
Finance for GM. Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
When it's chilly cold at night, don't just add another blanket. Add a new furnace system instead. Now for as low as $5,999 with 0% interest and no payments for 18 months. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696355.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
From the 209, let me get a game of knockout at the All-Star game. From the 530, don't need to be afraid to repeat old dunks. It's a creativity at this point, ruining it. Just power them home. Yeah, I was going to say that. The thing about Mac McClung is that he dunks everything with authority, right? The Jacob Toppin one, even though it was very, it was very complex, you need some oomph. You need some anger.
Yeah.
You need to dunk with authority, right? You didn't see that. I'm trying to remember. Did you see this? It was the guys playing knockout, right? But somebody, I think it was another player, and they said that they don't call the game knockout. I forgot.
Really?
Yes, they called it something else. I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, they were joking about they played knockout during a practice or something like that, and somebody said, "Oh, I don't call it." Oh, there you go. Yeah. I found it. This guy is from Canada. This is Josh Eberly, who does hoops for Hoop Mag, and he says he has a picture of Luka and Jokic playing knockout during All-Star game practice, and he says this game is called bump. Do Americans call this knockout? Apparently, because I've never heard bump in my life.
No, yeah.
I guess you're bumping the ball.
I guess, right. But no, I mean, it's always been knockout. I feel like, knockout is like literally one of the first, I think it might have been like my first basketball experience is playing knockout. And it's been knockout ever since preschool. So I'm not here for bump.
Yeah,
and by the way, bumping is the worst. If you're that person who has the ball and bumps somebody else's ball like out to the great beyond.
You gotta do it. It's part of the game.
No!
You gotta do it. It's part of the game.
Integrity?
No,
Especially not at this point. It's like if you're not in grade school, like, let the kids run off the energy. That's fine.
Sure.
But like if you're in high school or God forbid playing, knockout in college, like don't just come on. We're all, no one's trying to chase that ball. Come on. We all got stuff to do.
Look, that's part of the game. That's part of the game. Yeah. So let me get a game of knockout at the All-Star game. People have talked about one-on-one.
Yeah,
too King of the Hill.
It'd be too competitive. I think the problem is any game they play is gonna like dance the line of like I really don't care about this.
Mhm.
Like, and so because that's honestly when you were bringing up the athlete celebrity game, the problem would be if you just put athletes in that game, they're going to go 100%. And I feel like if you do a one-on-one game, they're going to want to go 100%, but at the same time, they're going to say, this is still all-star. I'm going to, like they did Pig, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did Pig, I think, or Horse. It might've even been Horse, like 10 years ago, probably at this point.
Right.
And it just doesn't work. And so you also have to factor in, yeah, it's a fun game, but how entertaining is it to watch? Because it turned out a bunch of dudes missing jumpers or, blindfolded one-hand hook shots. Like it's not really entertaining to watch them miss for 3 minutes.
From the 916, if you noticed, most players missed their first couple of shots after that stupid starry ball shot. It took them out of their rhythm.
That too. Right. That's a great point. You're shooting from a certain distance and then you're going to take one 30-footer and then go right back. It's not bad. It's just, maybe do it at the end. Like maybe run to the line after you're done clearing the racks and then do them or something. I just feel like, I don't know. I just don't, it's like my least egregious thing that they do, but it's still, even that's not great. I hated too, the dunk contest. I'm glad that they're at least keeping the dunk contest as simple as possible. It's just trash.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a couple years ago, they had, might have even been like 10, 15 years ago. They had like a wheel of dunk that like essentially told the people beforehand what their dunk had to be.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work. I don't know. I mean, again, my general rule of thumb for All-Stars, just keep it simple, man. Basketball is a great, entertaining game as it is. I don't really think you need to spice it up and throw shticks into it.
Yeah. So we will see what happens next year in the Bay. I think this could be I don't know if we say this every season or not, but this does feel like the one that might change things.
I hope.
What is going to change? I'm not sure, but I think something will change as they head to the Bay next year. From the 209, I might have missed it, but did you guys touch on the Sac State clip with that player getting hit a bunch of times.
I think you sent it to me, right?
I sent it to you, and look, here on these airwaves, we did shout outs and closeouts.
Dude, shout out.
And I said shout out Sac State starting their season. Little did I know Sac State was about to go viral. So this guy, Sac State baseball player Matt Mascageno, had quite the memorable debut with the Hornets. He was hit by a pitch 8 times in 9 plate appearances.
In one game? Like that's
I think it was over the weekend. It had to have been
a doubleheader or something, right?
Yeah, not in one game, over the weekend.
I would just what do you even do at that point? You just look at the ump and you're like, are we gonna do something about this? It's gotta feel personal. And if you could tell his parents clearly weren't in the stands because there would have been a brawl, I would assume. Like if my kid gets hit 8 out of 9 plate appearances, I'm stepping on the field. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have some words with either the ump or the manager or somebody and say, we're just gonna let this happen. My kid is pretty much being abused out here.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he actually got called back. I think he might have been hit 9 times.
Really?
Or maybe they changed, or maybe they're including the 8. But essentially, they called him back on one of them. The ump got in the way, or that the player got in the way. Matt did. And called him back. Yeah, if you're getting hit that much, you got to be on top of the plate. And I believe the rule is you don't have to get out of the way. Just you have to not lean into it, right?
Sure.
Which is a fine line if you're just kind of hanging over, because sometimes
bracing versus
you could essentially
leaning.
be in the strike zone if you crowd it enough. So my guess would be that this is not new for this kid. A lot of these teams have a guy like that who their job is to just get on base.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the compilation of all the hits, but
it's out there. I saw it.
Unless he's just literally, unless he's getting hit in how many different places he got hit, that's when you would, as a parent, say, hey, what's going on here? But if he's getting hit in that elbow pad at least 4 or 5 times,
right.
That's him kind of doing what he needs to do for the team.
Sure. So you're saying as a former player, you're saying fair or foul, bit fair. In terms of
I would have to see all of them, but my guess is that he was crowding the plate, and that's kind of his thing.
Okay.
I don't think they just randomly beamed this kid.
I would hope not. I would really hope
8 times. I don't think unless there's a Sac State Loyola Marymount beef that we're not aware of, which I don't believe that there is. John and Sac, getting back to the All-Star game, what about ISO? Yeah, one-on-one, which show individual defense and offense. I just don't think that they want to fix this thing, but I just don't know how much they care.
Yeah,
I think they want to make it better, but I don't know that they even view Saturday night as a problem.
Yeah.
Because, hey, it's the dunk contest. They're not competing.
Right.
What do you want us to do? I don't think I think we spent more time talking about the Celebrity All-Star game than they're going to spend. And as far as Sunday, it's just on the guys.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, let's discuss the Sam Amick thing about paying the players.
Yeah.
We already discussed how Sabonis missed on, I think, 1.7 because he wasn't named. A lot of these guys have incentives, and this is, I think Ant said this or Shea said this a couple of years ago. A lot of these guys, they have incentives just to get selected.
Yep.
So now you want to get paid again to play. What is that even? Guys, what are we talking about here?
Right.
You want to get paid to make it and then get paid to play?
I hate to play this hard too, but y'all already make like $50 million.
It's bad. And I think it's a bad look to even throw this around. I
do too. Agree.
I think it's awful.
Yeah. I don't know what the win is. I mean, I have no idea who would want that information out. It's definitely not the players or the PA, but that's terrible. It's just a really bad look because you guys are already paid tons of money and, just play for the pride of the game or for the love of the game. I totally understand why you don't want to get hurt. I get all of that. And, to the one-on-one point, I think a lot of guys don't want to be embarrassed because if you do give full effort and then Kyrie Irving puts you on the floor, that thing's going to be memed for the rest of your career. So I think that's why a lot of guys don't do the dunk contest either, is because they don't want to be embarrassed. But, I feel like for the overall game itself, man, it's just go out there, man. Like I'm not saying that they have to go out there and give their 100%, but there should be some line of I'm playing 80%, 85%. And it feels like instead they're playing like 20.
Yeah, this was Amic's quote here, but here's the uncomfortable truth. In this season, in which the league's inaugural in-season tournament paid players of the winning team $500,000 apiece, that may be the only way to fix this problem as currently constructed. Players on the winning All-Star team get $100,000 each. And players on the losing team get $25,000. This apparently is the pay-for-play era, even if the league already has players topping at $50 million, the $50 million mark in annual salary and a 7-figure minimum. So they are getting paid.
Yeah.
They just want to get paid more.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. I mean, essentially, it's pretty much what it is.
I would rather just say you don't feel like it than say pay me, because I'm not going to go there. We don't have enough time to discuss how they're in the 1 of 1%. I just don't think it's a good look at all. All right. Coming back, we have the Drive Guys Crosstalk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-805-1723. 800-805-1723. That's 800-805-1723.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no accounts to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. Stockton Honda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company Zone Report.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Joined by Whitey Gleason, Stiles Watkins. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you to Nate Littlefield for doing his thing. From the 916, what do you think about the USA All-Stars versus World All-Stars? Huh?
In flag football?
We are getting to that
All-Star
point.
game.
I mean, I think the problem is, honestly, USA gets destroyed.
You think so?
I mean, yeah, I guess if you're maybe counting Joel Embiid as an American nowadays, it's maybe a little bit more even, but I mean, you still, it's like Luka, Giannis, Jokic, Shea would technically be in the world category. And
RJ Barrett, world.
Sure, he can play on the bench. Yeah, I mean, it'd be tough sledding for US.
Killian Hayes.
I mean, come on. If Mac McClung can play in the dunk contest, Killian Hayes.
That's also true. Did he get picked up yet?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No.
All right.
So he can wear a nice little NBA jersey or something. Just like a generic NBA Ignite or something.
It was a Rob Lowe when he wore
yes,
just
the NFL hat. I
hat.
love that so much. I wish I could pull that off.
Why did you waste any of your breath or your time complaining about the All-Star game or All-Star weekend?
I watched a little of the All-Star weekend after the fact. I didn't watch any of the All-Star game, and I'm a little surprised how I understand the disappointment, but some people seem surprised that it's, what it is. And it's like, hello. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of where we are right now with this thing.
Yeah.
All-Star games, other than, baseball still kind of works because of the nature of the game, but the Pro Bowl, for years, the commissioner and writers, what's wrong with that? They got to fix this. And finally they decided, nope, we can't.
Yeah. Literally,
I think
flag
that's where
football
we're
now.
headed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where we're headed with the basketball All-Star game as well.
So what would be the equivalent of flag football for? I mean, isn't it already kind of flag football?
It kind of is at this point. I guess it would just be leaning into just more events. Like, I mean, do a knockout, do a game of horse.
Yeah.
Do things like that.
Just don't have a game.
Don't have the game, I guess, and just keep it, almost like make it a Nickelodeon show. Like just try and make it as fun as possible. And I mean, you're not getting anything out of the game now. So maybe at least you can get some good publicity or some good PR out of it, or, maybe pick up some young fans or something. But I just don't know what I think the NBA needs to ask the question of themselves. And I think, Alan, you might've put it out on socials, but what is their goal? What are they trying to even get out of the weekend? I don't think they've asked themselves that question in a long time.
You guys saw the TV numbers?
I did not. No,
they're up like 20%.
But that was Steph. Is that from the weekend or Sunday?
I believe that's from the All-Star game. I will double check my numbers.
Poor people, man.
Because it's like it didn't do quite as well as the Pro Bowl, but it came close.
Yeah. Well,
that's insane.
I know Saturday.
Right? Like,
I know Saturday
bars
did well.
Across America.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was the Steph and Sabrina thing. Not to get too deep here, but I do wonder if some of this outrage about the NBA also, or about the All-Star game, also connects to just the idea of NBA players. It's a player empowered league, and just the whole kind of idea of the players being spoiled a little bit. Yeah. I think that the NFL got a break because football is just so dangerous that you couldn't kind of do something halfway anyway. So, all right, the players never really got blamed for the Pro Bowl because it's just awkward.
Right.
But I think with basketball, there's already a bit of a notion with certain people that these guys are spoiled and these guys get whatever they want. So I do wonder if Adam Silver is maybe a little bit more motivated to fix this because it is a bit of a bad look.
It's also like, you could say, like, I mean, players play all summer, and those games, like those runs, look more competitive than the All-Star game.
Right.
So to your point of like, you can't give us like even that level of effort. Like you can say, hey, I'm not going to go 100%. I don't want to be injured trying to block a Steph Curry layup or something, but I don't know. Like, it's possible to play basketball and not put yourself in harm's way.
Right. And we're not asking people to. The question is, where is that line? We're not asking people to dive into the bleachers or into the stands and dive on the floor and go crazy here. That's why I think that how you fix this is maybe not Jimmy Butler, but I think that Russell Westbrook should just automatically be able to go to every All-Star game, because that guy only knows how to play hard. He just gets to go every single season. Even when he's done playing, he just comes back because he's going to get on people one way or the other.
I hate it.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Jimmy Butler, and this is kind of a non sequitur, but you reminded me of it. Sunday night for my nephew Owen's birthday, we went to this restaurant. That's a Turkish restaurant in Pacifica, and it was really good. And so we start talking about, Turkey and Turkish players, and I mentioned Enes Freedom. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember him. And we looked him up. Do you know that year of that draft, Jimmy Butler was the 30th player taken. Yeah. Kawhi Leonard was 15th. Klay Thompson was 11th. Enes Kanter was like 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah. And he didn't play a single college game that year either.
Wow.
He was 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never know. I know.
Can't teach height.
He played for a long time. But, oh, my God.
That happens, man. Like Dario Saric was, 5? I mean, even our guy. I love him. Alex Len, number 3 picking the draft. Or number 4 or 5 or something.
Right. They're always going to take a chance. Yeah. And if you're wrong, and that's why it's so funny, right? Because if you look back and people will say, it really just depends on what happens in that draft. And to that point, Whitey, there were clearly some guys taken in that draft, but it's funny how certain teams get, I guess, a worse rap than others and for whiffing, even though every team whiffs. It's just every team whiffs.
Well, the Kings got that year. They ended up with. They drafted Biyombo, but they ended up with Jimmer.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Bismack Biyombo still playing, still kicking.
I know.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I think about it every time. I'm
Jimmer.
like, there he is.
Right. I mean, and famously, and I think it's just crazy when certain teams can whiff so much. For the T-Wolves to pass on Steph twice, and all these years later, Kings did too, and all these years later, the T-Wolves haven't won anything, but you eventually get an Anthony Edwards and a Karl Anthony Towns.
Darko Milicic.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah, and the Bosch, D-Wade, LeBron, Carmelo draft.
No, that was the Pistons.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
You're right. I apologize. Minnesota ended up with him.
Yes, they did end up with him.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think they
did draft, by the way, the year I was talking about, Derek Williams with the 2nd pick.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
And I thought he was going to be really good.
Yeah.
He was fun in Sacramento.
I wonder how
he was not good.
wonder how often NBA, this is more of a summer thing. I wonder how often NBA teams rotate scouts, right? Because if you're looking at teams that are still in the dumpster and you've had pick after pick after pick, whose fault is that?
But the scouts only have so much say.
Yeah.
No one goes, well, I don't like this guy, but my scout liked him. So
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Blame it on Tim if this guy.
I'm just
doesn't
thinking,
pan out.
you're bringing up the Pistons, and they got that the one championship with the Crew, but they're back to stinking again, and they basically stunk in the interim.
Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Teams that suck tend to stay suck.
I just read a thing.
It's just kind of how it goes.
Tyrese Halliburton over the weekend was talking about how mad he was when Detroit took Killian Hayes instead of him. He's like,
wow.
What? They did what?
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure Detroit's mad too now.
Sometimes it ends up working out for you. And I mean, it's weird how those kind of situations happen too, where it's like you're just like so focused on draft night about like, I want to be the highest pick possible.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up working out about as well as it could have for Tyrese.
Then I was just telling Chris, apparently when Halliburton was going to get traded, this obviously was years after he got drafted, he's going to get traded. He's on the phone with his representatives, and his representatives are telling him, King said they're going to move you, but we don't know what team. And he's like, what's going on? What team's it going to be? And this other voice says, wow, I think it's Indiana. And he's like, is that Woj? Woj was on the phone with Halliburton and his representatives. He's like, what is he doing on the call?
Wow.
But he was the one who knew.
Yeah.
That's so strange to me. Like, that almost brings up, like, when the it's almost weird that he knows more than, like, agents and GMs.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen? Like, it's just, like, how is Woj the one with the most information in that situation?
It's just
like,
about Pat. I mean, one thing, honestly, I learned from the whole Vegas trip, as you look at people in their careers and just kind of the media row thing in general, as we talked to Lee Steinberg, and he's telling us his story, Show Me the Money. This life is just all about relationships, man. I mean, you can go to school, you can learn this, you can learn that. If you know how to use your relationships,
timing too,
and timing, that's just what it is, because there's no real I mean, they're going to Woj is getting this information because of the power that he now has, because of the relationships that he's built.
Right.
It's not about, I mean, Woj could leave ESPN tomorrow.
Yeah.
And be fine.
Can I tell you my Lee Steinberg story real quick?
Sure.
Talked to him at the, when the Super Bowl was in San Francisco, which was Carolina and Denver, and we were interviewing him. And I was working with our buddy Mark Kreidler, whose son at the time was going to UCLA, and he's now on the Tigers. He's a baseball player. So Lee Steinberg's like, oh, Mark, yes, well, because his son didn't have an agent yet. And he gives him his card. We're having a big party tonight. You should come to this party. And he looks over me and goes, you can come too. And that like, all right, I didn't
appreciate
make
it.
Wow. Yeah, you can come too.
Well, funny enough, we did get invited to a party. We got invited to the Michael Irvin Playmaker party. And we got that invite, not from Michael Irvin, from somebody else. But it was funny because we interviewed Lee Steinberg. Thought it was a great interview, but clearly
you guys were going to talk to him.
Clearly he does, this is his thing every Super Bowl, as you mentioned. He does the rounds. And then we left Saturday morning anyway, but what happened Saturday night? The Lee Steinberg Super Bowl party, and I was upset because I'm thinking Lee didn't invite us.
Yeah.
Lee didn't invite us. Didn't even tell Jay. Or maybe he did tell Jay. Maybe he did, because we were gone already. But I saw people taking pictures. I'm like, does that say Lee Steinberg Super Bowl party? And it doesn't even matter because I wasn't going to be there, but I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I wanted to go.
That counts.
It is the thought that counts.
I got invited and didn't go, Alan.
You did get invited, and that's one thing we didn't. All right. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Nate Littlefield, thank you for doing your thing. As always, we will talk to you tomorrow. Drive Guys up next. Until then, secure the bag, light the beam.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown.